live. Let's go. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Let's see. Yes, Bastion, welcome in. Brock, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. 2012, welcome in as well. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. How are y'all feeling today? Welcome in to the stream. We are officially live on all of the different platforms. Let me see something here real quick. Andreas, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Welcome into the stream. Thank y'all for joining Track Talk today. I appreciate y'all being here. Talent Boys in the building, welcome in. If y'all are coming in over on any of the different platforms that we're live on right now, Primo, welcome in. Good to see you. Let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know what kind of music you make. Melody or Melodium, maybe. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here as well. Drawwake, welcome in as well. I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome into the stream, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. Once again, if you're on TikTok, definitely tap the screen, share out the live with a few people. Make sure that y'all are sharing out the live. And then, of course, we'll get moving with some music here in just a little bit. But I would love to just chat with y'all for a little bit. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you make music, what kind of music you make as well. Is it the one? Am I saying that correctly? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. I'll explain how to join and everything here in just a couple minutes. Just going to wait for welcome from Germany. I appreciate you being here. Wait for things to kind of wake up over here. Wait for everything to kick in. And then we'll get moving with some music here in just a little bit. Is it Nopesy? Thanks for tapping in as well. Talent Boys from Nigeria. I'm an artist manager. My artist makes Afrobeats. Beautiful, man. I love that. Amazing, amazing. Hip hop, rap. Mr. Miyagito. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for tapping into the stream today. It's amazing. How long have y'all talent and is it the one maybe or maybe they or something like that? Let me know. Let me know how long y'all have been making music, doing what you're doing, managing artists. In the case of Talent Boy, I appreciate you being here. I would love to chat about that a little bit. Let me double check a few things while I'm getting things updated and getting things rolling here. Client to error, welcome in as well. 6 years. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Talent Boy, you've been managing for 2 years, or do you make any music yourself, or you've been managing artists for the last 2 years? That's amazing. What got you into doing that, Talent Boy? Malls, thanks for, is it Malsbag? Thank you for joining as well. I appreciate you being here. Y'all keep tapping the screen. We'll get rolling with some music here probably in the next 5 minutes or so. We'll get some things moving. I'll explain the whole structure of the live stream. But once again, if y'all are coming in over on TikTok, let me know where you're joining from. Talk to me about the music that you make. If you make music, we'd love to chat for a little bit before we get things rolling. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send in your heart me. It really does help out the live stream. And hopefully we'll get into some amazing music here in just a little bit. Let me just double check a few things and make sure that everything is up and running and working the way it's supposed to. From BandLab to FL Studio, beautiful. I love it. How long ago? I can't talk today, y'all. How long ago did you make that switch? Or are you still kind of working between BandLab and FL Studio? I don't make music. My artist. Okay, nice. You're strictly focused on the artist management side, which is great. That's great. It's great to have that focus as well. Verseless in the building. What's up, Verseless? Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing fantastic today. Little Vampires in the building. Welcome in. Welcome in. Louis, appreciate you tapping in as well. Let me get a few things moving as we roll here. What do you think about AI music? I don't really think about it too often, to be honest with you. Little Vampire, can you do Love Shy? Well, I'll explain submitting music here in just a little bit. Talent Boy, thank you for the follow. I really don't think about AI music that often. It's everywhere. It's here to stay. If you use it, you use it. And that comes with whatever limitations you might potentially have, or, it might be a tool for you, something like that. I don't personally use it. I never have, and I don't plan on it. That's my personal thing. I love being a musician. I love the process of being a musician. So it's not something that I want to do or want to delve into at all. But yeah, that to me is an individual choice that of course you can make, and it comes with its own criticisms. It comes with its own legal limitations, comes with its own practical limitations, and you can kind of decide if that's something that is worth it for you, is something that feels fulfilling for you or not. That's not my decision to make. I just have my own personal mindset on it and how I integrate it. Could you please play With the Money in the Bag by Miles? We're not playing any popular artists. We're not playing any popular artists. We are listening to your music or music that you represent. We play independent underground artists. We don't listen to like popular artists here, unless it's something that is, an artist that you're connected with directly. Like some people have sent in like early looks, like pre-releases for artists that maybe have maybe a couple million monthly listeners, but they are people that manage those artists. They are producers that are producers that are actually working on those tracks. They're session musicians for these bands that are a little bit higher. That to me is, that's a little bit more interesting, where we can actually talk to that person. We can get a little bit deeper into their process as well. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Do-do, do-do-do. Are you serious? Yeah, thank you for tapping in as well. Season, I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome in, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that as well. From the one, I appreciate you a lot. Let me double check a few things here while I'm getting moving. Give me just 2 minutes, y'all. Give me 2 minutes, and then I'll let y'all know the structure of the live stream. Is it Lelio? Thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Give me 1 second to get a couple things updated, and then I will go ahead and explain the structure of the live stream and what we do and why we do it that way, and the whole way that we structure Track Talk here in this particular live stream, because it is a little bit different. Give me 2 seconds. Let me make sure that my other streams are doing what they're supposed to do, that they are updated. I believe that they are. Let me see. Okay. I think we are set. 2 seconds. Let me refresh over here. Boom. All right. Tommy Smith, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Okay, let's get into it. Let me go ahead and explain what we do here at Track Talk and the structure of this live stream. Christian Ray, welcome in. For those of you who don't know, this is Track Talk. Welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. This is an amazing community of people. We are here for independent and underground artists, musicians, session musicians, producers, engineers, songwriters, vocalists, so on and so on. The structure of this live stream is a little bit different. These are 20 to 30 minute long, multiple listen consultations on the structure of your music. Like I said, we will typically listen to your song 2 to 3 different times, spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking down the mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song structure and formatting. We're going to get into the nuances and the details of what you're doing creatively and practically within the structure of your music. This is not a review. There is no quick listen to your song or quick play and then we move on. It's long form. Like I said, it's really detailed. It's very analytical. That is the full structure. Like I mentioned, it's not a quick review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. The whole structure of this live stream is to really offer as much in-depth practical feedback as possible. The goal is to really get into those nuances and hopefully offer you some specific, practical, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. Eduardo, please don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, I will block you or I will mute you. Another couple times of spamming it, you will get muted, and I don't want you to get muted. Great. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you tapping in. So if you are wanting to submit for that, these detailed long-form consultations, 20 to 30 minutes breaking down the structure of your song, your production, whatever it may be, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details there. If you want to see the line, order minimums, anything like that, we are live on 2 other platforms. You can check the line on those other platforms throughout the course of the live stream here on TikTok as well. Nyako, welcome in as well. Waiting around to die, I definitely can. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there, and we will get you up on the board, ready to go. Derek Bennett is in the building. Derek Bennett, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing fantastic today. I'm going to be updating some things as we go, but really quick, for those of you who don't know me, you've never been here before, my name is Torvik. I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained musician, so the structure of this live, the whole perspective of this live stream is from that direction. It's from that perspective. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. Like I say every time, I say this spiel every time we go live. If that happens, if you get exposure, if the algorithm takes off and whatever happens, and that happens for you, amazing, fantastic, absolutely beautiful. It's just not my priority. It's not the way I've structured this live stream. The structure of this live stream is to bring value, to offer you some tools, to give you some perspective, and hopefully help with with you building out the structure of your music, whether that be the mix, production, sound design, lyric and song formatting, stuff like that. So once again, if that is interesting to you, if that seems like something that would be helpful, then go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details there. What's up, Miranda? Appreciate you tapping in. Just finished up some dinner. Hope you're good. Yeah, it has been a good day, man. We've just been with family most of the day and working when we're not. So that's the constant loop that we're in right now. Vasa Jones, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream today. Listening here and tell me what you think. Eduardo, if you want to send me, go to my profile, click on the link and read through and follow the details. I'm trying to go back and see. Libby, thank you for the heart me as well. I appreciate that so much. Let me see. JPS 2026. Welcome into the live stream. I appreciate you tapping in. For those of you coming in too, if you're coming in for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. Would love to hear a little bit about your music, how long you've been making it, where you're joining from, stuff like that. Would love to get some details on what y'all are doing. Is it FM Merst? Thank you so much for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. Welcome in. Let me see. Zoe Bean, welcome in. Let me check a couple things here, and hopefully I can get a few from not yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Hopefully I can get some of them in here as well. Yoni, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping into the stream. What are y'all up to today on this beautiful Sunday evening? It's Sunday evening for me. It might not be for you, but it's Sunday evening for me. How are y'all feeling today? Hi, Jay, welcome in. Let me see. Is it only paid submission? Yeah, it is it's a paid service. It's not like a live music room with a free line and a 5-skip or something like that. It is a full 30-minute paid service where we go deep into these consultations. Okay, let me double check. I need to double check something really quick. But yeah, they are 20 to 30-minute consultations. They're long form breakdowns. Usually listen to your song or your instrumental, depending on what you do. Usually 2 or 3 different times in order to really get into the details of it. So it's not like a quick play and then we move on and say, get a better mix, bro, have better energy, and then we move on. It's a really, really detailed breakdown. Time Mind is in the building. What's up, Time Mind? Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope you're doing amazing today. Let me see. I'm trying to see what I have control over here. Give me 1 sec. Because I'm on a different platform. Nalim, welcome in. Dan the Band, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you tapping in, man. It's another fantastic musician right there. Definitely tapping with him. Mr. Producer, the Mr. Producer. Thank you for joining the live stream. I appreciate you being here. Let me see something. Give me a sec. Yeah. All right. Dayton's in the building. What's up, Dayton? Hold on. I'm trying to figure out some things over on TikTok Studio here. So give me a... FS, thank you for the follow. Hold on. Danny, I got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let me get you up on the board really quick while I'm updating just a few things here. I'm trying to figure out something over on TikTok. Give me a sec. Give me a second, and let me get. I think it's Danny. Am I saying that correctly? Dun, 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 dun. Let me see. Caden's in the building. What's up, Caden? Sorry for the delay, y'all. Give me just one moment. Danny, beautiful. Danny, thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Dun, 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 dun. Boom. All right, beautiful. Got you. You're up on the board, ready to go. I appreciate you so much. Can you sing Dream by Chris Brown? We're not listening to popular artists. So if y'all are sending in popular artists, that's not what we do here. What we do here are 30-minute consultations. If you would like a 30-minute consultation, 20 to 30-minute consultation, you can go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details. We're starting to get some people in line. Right now, we'll start filling up some people from yesterday, as well as some fresh consultations for today as well. I will be listening to a max of 8 songs, So if you want to submit, I would do it early, just because some of you who maybe have been here a couple times before, the line can get a little bit crazy sometimes, and so the earlier the better. That can save you hours of time sometimes, or days of time sometimes. So if you want to submit, I would do it earlier rather than later, just because it does fill up pretty quick sometimes. Danny, I just got your email as well. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, for those of you who are interested in the consultations, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board ready to go, just like Danny just did. Danny, you are up on the board ready to go. If you want to see the line order minimum, stuff like that, you can find them on the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also find at my link tree. Like I said, we got 8 tracks today max. I would say probably 6 to 8 tracks, something like that. So if you want to submit, I'm not American. I don't know what you say. Well, that's probably gonna make it a little bit tough. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, that's gonna probably make it a little bit challenging. I'm so glad that you're here. I really appreciate you being in the stream. Hopefully you can enjoy the music as we get into it. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to help you too much. I would love to if I can. I would absolutely love to. Liam's in the building. What's up, Liam? Welcome in. I appreciate y'all joining. Welcome in, y'all. That's not popular artist. It's not popular artists. So don't send in popular artists. This is for underground independent musicians, artists, vocalists, engineers, songwriters, so on and so on. So if you're a musician, you're a producer, you're an artist, you're a vocalist, you're a songwriter, whatever it may be, that is the structure of this live stream. That is what we are here. That's who we are here to help and give tools and offer feedback for. So if you are one of those people, you can absolutely send in any genre, absolutely any style, any genre, any level of preparedness, any level of quality, so on and so on. That's why even the tag right here on the screen says, let's talk about your music. I would love to listen to your music. These are not ratings. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It's not a quick review. I'm not going to just give you a number out of 10 or anything like that. These are detailed, long form, 20 to 30 minute deep dive consultations on the structure of your music, where we really get into the nuances of what you're doing. If that would be helpful, if that'd be interesting, hang out for a little bit, see what we're all about. Or of course, if you want to submit, you can go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details there. I am going to go ahead and start getting into some music. I'm not going to wait around anymore. JCV47, welcome in. Appreciate you joining as well. If y'all are over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Make sure you send in your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. Is it Dark D? Thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate the likes. Let's get into it. We got Danny in the building. It has been a minute. I was like, Danny, I remember that name. And I was like, hold on one second. I think actually, Danny, I think last time I called you Danny too. So I apologize. I was like, hold on. I feel like the last time we had the same like deja vu moment where I was like, hey, Danny, welcome in. And now I'm remembering, okay, that it's Danny. Y'all have to give me like a little bit of grace, because I see over the course of a live stream, I'm probably seeing anywhere between 2,000 and 6,000 names pop up in the chat. And it is that I do my best to like say hi to everyone and engage with everyone. But out of those couple thousand people, I'm definitely going to get some names wrong. So there's some people that I'm sure I have butchered your name for like 2 years, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about it. But let's get into some music. We're gonna kick it off with Danny. It's been a minute. I just released an album called She's Out Again. Let's go. This is one of the songs I really like and wanted to get some feedback. Let's get it. All right. So this song is already out. This album is already out. So we're gonna look at it from that perspective as well. This is a song that's released. This is a finished song. Danny, remind me really quick on the role that you played in your, I think I've heard maybe one song of yours before, maybe more, but I know for sure at least one song of yours before. Give me some quick context on the role that you play as far as production, mix, writing your vocals and stuff like that. We're going to do, let me see the tracks here really quick. And then this is one of the songs. Okay, so it took me to the album, or hold on, let me switch it here. At least it did on Spotify. Let me try to reset it. Turn off your brain. Got you. Okay, let's get into it. This is Danny D This is Danny D over on all platforms. So the song is released. It is absolutely everywhere. Electronic pop. I write, produce, and do the. Hold on, let me scroll. I write, produce, and do the fun background vocals. I have an engineer help to make it sound profesh. Let's get into it, y'all. This is Danny D. This is Turn Off Your Brain. This is an album. Looks like a 9-track LP that was just released this year. So if you like what you hear, please go stream, or even if you don't and you just want to support people and help them out, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go follow on Spotify and other DSPs, all that fun stuff. Go show them some love and support, go boost their algorithm. This is a new album from a fresh artist, so definitely do your best to support them in any capacity that you can. Once again, before we dive in, if anybody wants to submit, you absolutely can. This is our first song that we're listening to out of probably 6 to 8, not that many today. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details, and we'll get you up on the line. If you would like to check the line, order and minimums, those are on the other platforms that we're live on. You can find those at my link as well. Let's dive in. This is Turn Off Your Brain by Danny D. Let's get it. It's time. Jamal, welcome in.
Turn off your brain, turn the pop on.
Thank you for the heart, man.
Day, let's go escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain, turn off your brain.
I like that bass.
Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Live, laugh, love, that's the motto.
Remind me really quick how you're tracking your vocals.
Regrets, that's the game. Show it off, you're on stage now. And nothing's gonna stop you today. Raise your hands, keep
What's up, Jamal? Hope you're doing amazing, man.
vibes are high and so is my skirt. We cannot waste another minute. There's so much more to do on this earth. So hit me up, let's shut it down, every part of town. I don't think you're listening. Hit me up, let's shut it down, every part of town. All I wanna hear is the beat. Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day. Let's go escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain, turn off your brain.
Exit 9, welcome in. Exit, let me get you back up on the board. I got you.
Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day. Let's go escape.
Like what kind of mic and stuff?
Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Turn off your brain.
Exit 9, you are back up on the board. I got you. Coldsy, thank you for the follow.
Turn it up, I don't wanna hear a thing. Keep turning it up, keep turning it up. I don't wanna feel a thing. So hit me up, let's shut it down, every part of town. I don't think you're listening.
Got you, Exit. Yep, you're up there. Ready to go. I appreciate you.
Every part of town. All I wanna hear is the beat.
And you produced all this? Okay, no worries. You're totally fine. Okay, cool. But you built all of this production yourself?
Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day. Let's go escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day. Let's go escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Keep turning it up, keep turning it up. I don't wanna hear a thing. Keep turning it up, keep turning it up. I don't wanna hear a.
Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. That is Danny D. You'll see Danny right here in the chat. Yes, most of it. Engineer added some things like extra piano in the background and some minor adjustments. I'm assuming, right? Y'all show some love. Show some love. That is Danny D. Turn Off Your Brain. The song, Bojo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Nova's in the building. What's up, Nova? Thanks for joining, man. Good to see you in here. Let's get into it. I'm excited. This is called Turn Off Your Brain. It is released. It is out on all platforms. So if you like what you hear, go show it some love and support. Go like the track. Go add it to your playlist. Go follow on Spotify, so on and so on. Catch up. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, please don't spam the chat, y'all. That's not this kind of live where you're supposed to spam the chat. Miranda, thank you for the follow. The format of this live stream is very structured and controlled. So if you want to submit your music or music that you're connected to, go to my profile, click on the link, read through, and follow the steps right there. But don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you will get muted. And I don't want you to get muted. I want you to connect. I want you to be able to collaborate. I want you to be able to communicate and engage in the community. So if you just keep spamming, then you'll get muted for a while. And I don't want that to have to happen. Thank you for the heart me, Bojo. I appreciate you a lot. But if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through, and follow the steps. You can read the pinned as well. Shout out to Libby for all the help. Let's get into it. Danny, let's dive in. There's a couple little writing things in here, some structural things in here, and then some production element things in here I want to dive into just a little bit. Care if I send an older track that might not have dude, 100%, Nova. Yeah, 100%. People send in old stuff all the time. We had someone who sent a song not that long ago. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Sorry, let me move this real quick. We had someone who sent in a song that was like 15 years old before, just to like see if there was anything in the structure there that they could still pull from it in order to like put into something that's a little bit more fresh. So yeah, people do that all the time. So if you want to send something new, you want to send something that was old but you think is still a good idea that you might want to pull from, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. What's up, Tiffy? What's up? That's not how it works. You get submit a song. Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details here. Baba, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day. Let's go escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain, turn off your.
A bass is meaty, though. I mean, if there's like one thing that I really appreciate about the structure of the production here, is that bass. That bass is nice. That's a juicy bass. It's got a lot going on. It's got a lot going on that I really like. Love a good bass. A good like mini Moog, 2 oscillator, 80 synth bass. Hard to go wrong.
Turn the pop on, get a tan a day. Let's go escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain, turn
Off the C.
Turn off your brain, turn off your brain.
Beautiful.
Live, laugh, love, that's the motto. No regrets, that's the game.
What's up, Fees? Welcome in.
Show it off, you're on stage now. And nothing's gonna stop you today. Raise your hands, keep them up now. Vibes are
Back it up here. There's a couple things I'm listening for here, kind of all at the same time.
Turn off your brain. Live, laugh, love.
Got you, Nova. I appreciate you, man.
No regrets, that's the game. Show it
Got you, man. Appreciate it.
now. And nothing's gonna stop you today. Raise your hands, keep them up now. Vibes are high and so is my skirt. We cannot waste another minute. There's so much more to do on this earth. So hit me up, let's shut it down. Every part of town. I don't think you're listening. Hit me up, let's.
Danny, are you recording? So I know you're working with an engineer right now. Are you recording with that engineer, or are you recording yourself at home and then sending? Let me know. Let me know really quick. Are you working with a tracking engineer in a studio, or are you tracking yourself? You're tracking with the engineer. Okay, got you. I'm gonna back this up. There's a couple things that I'm listening for that are all kind of happening at the same time that I really want to dive into. But I'm trying to listen to this a couple different parts of the production as well as within your vocal structure as well.
Show it off, you're on stage now. And nothing's gonna stop you today. Raise your hands, keep them up now. Vibes are high and so is my skirt. We cannot waste another minute. There's so much more to do on this earth. So hit me up, let's shut it down. Every part of town. I don't think you're listening. Hit me up, let's shut it down. Every part of town. All I wanna hear is the beat. Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan.
Okay, this part. This is kind of what I want to get into. So this song, really quick, this is a structural, a production thing, right? This song, based on what I'm listening for here, outside of this little part of the production, this song is in E minor, G major. You have this. That's the main structure of the song sits right there, right? E minor, you're starting on the 4, most of it in the E minor, G major relative, right? So based on that structure right here, you get a lot of like additional fuzz and movement on the B section here, which I'm guessing is like kind of your hook. Thank you for the follows, y'all. I appreciate that.
On the hook right here, you get a lot of additional movement, and then all of the sudden, a lot of these progress kind of out of the blue, because most of the first part of the song is just based off that like C, G, E minor, D, right? Most of it just sits right there. And then all of the sudden, you move into the hook, and a lot of these progressions don't match. My assumption, I'm making this assumption out of the blue, right? My assumption is that some of these other elements in the background are just loops, maybe even this bass line that comes in. Maybe some of it's MIDI inputted, maybe some of it is brought in. Again, none of this is a good or a bad thing, right? It's just the reality of producing these different elements. This structure in the background, my assumption is some of it is loops, right? Some of the progressions maybe are loops. Maybe some of the bass lines are loops. Let me know. Let me know. And again, this is not a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just trying to kind of dissect some of the reality of it so I can understand why certain things maybe are happening in the background. Mr. Goodman, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Some are loops. The bass is a loop, the strings too. Perfect. That explains quite literally everything that I'm already thinking. What's happening now is you have some elements that aren't loops. Derek Bennett, got you. Appreciate you so much, man. Some of these aren't loops. The super fan, Derek Bennett, is in here. I know it's cool that Derek got the super fan bonus or whatever the other day because of another producer that came in and gave him like a treasure box or something. Amazing. Shout out to Derek, the super fan. Sorry, distraction. It's a squirrel. This is exactly another producer sent in like a gift that made you the super fan, which is super cool. I don't know what it does. I don't know, but you get a cool tag, and every time you come in, it says super fan. Derek Bennett is in here, which is sick. But yeah, feel free to call me that. Okay. Focus. Danny, this is about you. Although Derek is a super fan and we're very grateful. When it comes to the structure of the production right here, there's a couple things that are happening. One is you have like a baseline. Sorry, it's my brain. My brain does what my brain does. There's a couple things that are happening at the same time. You have some programmed melodies in here. I hear it in the grand piano that happens later, right? So the grand piano that happens later, you get this, right? You get this programmed MIDI piano that's following the main progression. In this case, most of that main progression being the, right, C, G, right, to the E minor, C, G, E minor, D, right? Most of it's following that progression. And then all of a sudden, there's a loop that comes into play that is in a different progression. So all of a sudden, you go into your hook right here, and that hook no longer matches that progression because, Huey, welcome in, because that bass line that you brought in is a loop, so it's just following its own progression. Whatever loop you brought in, it's got a mind of its own, and it's already following whatever progression it's on, which doesn't match any of the MIDI that you've inputted. Any of the other production elements that are in there, that bass line, and again, the bass line typically dictates that progression, right? Like you have, like I can have all the stuff up here, but that bass line, right? That bass line is going to kind of determine where we turn, right? That's the steering wheel of your chords, right? That bass line is kind of telling you where we're going. So all of your elements were doing one thing, and then your bass line and maybe one or two other loops that you brought in then took us in a different, right? We kind of went off-roading a little bit. If, it's a horrible example, but you get what I'm talking about. We took a little bit of a left turn, and all of a sudden we're kind of going in a couple different directions, as opposed to the bass line coming in and all following the same progression. You want everything to be pointed in that same direction, or at the very least, complementary towards it. The baseline loop that you brought in very well could have been in the same, it could be in the same key. It could all be in the key of G major. So any loops that you brought in, they're all in the key of G major, but they're not following the same progression, right? So that's kind of what I'm listening for right here. Since the bass line is the steering wheel for your progression, it's a steering wheel for the song right now, for all of your chords, all of your melodies, you need to, at the very least, make sure that all of your other progressions, all of your other instrument elements that you bring in there match that progression or are complementary to it. So you have this early bass line that comes in that I already loved, right?
Escape San Diego or the Bay. Turn off your brain.
Bum, 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 bum. I love this, right?
Turn off your brain. Turn off your brain.
You get this like heavy synth pop bass that comes. I love that. I think that's a great sounding bass. I like a lot of what it's doing. If you're going to bring in a different bass loop, right? Let's say that's a bass loop. Let's say the next one that you bring in is also a bass loop. If you're going to bring in a different bass loop, then we need to realign all of your other production elements to line up with that bass loop now, right? To make sure that they're doing all the same thing over the hook, right? If not, then you need to bring in MIDI bass, like a MIDI synth bass that matches the progression that you want. As soon as this hook comes in, you kind of the progression of it kind of crumbles a little bit. What's up, someone? Welcome in. The progression crumbles a little bit and you lose direction, right? It's kind of like we're skidding on ice a little bit, and you lose a little bit of like the foundation of the production that to me makes this feels like settled, punchy, driving, and like it has the energy and the vibrancy that you're looking for in your product. I mean, again, this is kind of like it's kind of like a really happy, kind of, it reminds me of like 2000s, like pop EDM sometimes, like some records from like, early 2000s, even maybe like early 2010s, like, really like happy, positive pop, you know what I mean? Like optimistic pop. I don't know if optimistic pop is a thing. Thank you for the Go Populars and the Heart Me, someone. I appreciate you so much. I don't know if that's the style. Aria, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate it a lot. Love depression pop. I was yep, 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I was like, I'm looking for the opposite. I was optimism pop. Is that the name that I'm looking for? Depression pop, 100%. I was inspired from hearing the worst news of my life and just ignoring it. For one, I'm so incredibly sorry for hearing the worst news of your life. That's very, very unfortunate. And I hope that everything you're hopefully able to pull yourself out of some of the things that you're feeling. Libby and I both know, and many people know, nothing is very easy right now, and life is a little bit crazy. Huey G, thank you for the rose. I appreciate you, man. Life is a little bit crazy. Life is a little bit crazy these days. So any way that you're able to maintain some sense of like clarity and composure, I am all for. Tay, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. I'm doing better, but I really just live, laugh, love through it. Valid. As are other forms of coping with how insane life is these days. Huey G, thank you for the goat, and thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, there's a lot of what you're doing stylistically I love, which is why to me that this is not like a high risk production structure, right? Like you can have some twists and turns, you can have some surprises, you can have some interesting production elements and structure in here, but this is not where we need to all of a sudden go like chromatic with some crazy modulation and the bass line is reharmonizing something else. I don't even think that's necessarily like what you're trying to do. So if you want this to feel really consistent, you want this to feel like really, like you said, like depression pop, it's pretty in line. It's pretty straightforward. If that's the case, then I want your bass line to really showcase that. So really quick, let's get into this hook. I'll talk to you about like what the bass line potentially would feel a little bit better as, and then we'll kind of move from there. Absolutely, Slim, 100%. See that synth in the background? You hear the synth in the background there that kind of does like a 1, drops down to a 7. Like that walk down there is another different progression, which I like. There's a change in progression. Thankfully, in that moment, there's no other production elements or other progressions to interrupt that. So it's really consistent, right? So I don't mind that one bit. I just want to get into the second bass loop that you bring in here. And this is just the challenge with, I tell people, there's nothing wrong with using loops. There's nothing at all wrong with using loops. You just have to make sure that everything points in the same direction, make sure that everything makes sense together, right? That is a struggle, is you have largely lost some control over what that loop is doing. That's going to be the thing that you're going to struggle with the most. So I do encourage, if you're able to do some of this in MIDI, it's going to be helpful for you because it's going to give you some control over those melodies. It's going to give you control over exactly where that bass progression goes. But if you found a bass line that you really like, thank you for the follows. If you like the bass line that you found, I would keep it, but just make sure that you move all of your melody, elements in there, your MIDI elements in there, the MIDI elements in there to match the new progression. So again, it's all pointed in the same direction. Let's see. Yeah, totally. So this is, you have this dun, 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 like this really heavy. Totally different bass line from the rest of the structure, which again is C, G, E minor, D major, like your original progression all following that. And then you have this like really heavy, really like, what is my autocorrect? I know. I mean, the chat's been a little bit interesting today. All right, let me back it up just a little bit, right? But you can hear how all of a sudden there's a completely different progression, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that progression. It is technically in the right key. That's off like an E minor, which is relative to the key of G. So that makes it really easy. That's technically all in line and all in the same key, but all of the other progressions are still doing the old progression. All of the other instrumentation, they're still doing different loops, different progressions, right? So that's where you want to keep you might want to have some of these other elements here. So you have, what the hell? Hold on, give me a sec. What is wrong with this light? Hold on. Trey, thank you for the follow. I feel like God just walked into the room or something. Like, Jesus. Okay. Hold on. What the hell? I guess I need new light or I need to switch out this light or something. What the hell? That's yeah, everything's okay. I don't know why this light just went from, I have it at 25%. I have it at 25% and it randomly just goes to 90% for absolutely no reason at all. It's just, I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was getting abducted or something. I thought like aliens were here. I was like, oh my God. Okay, I think we're fine. Superfan Derek, welcome over to the Red app. Okay. Let's get it. Sorry, that was wild. Anyways, you get the idea. You get the idea, Danny. If you're going to use loops, make sure that everything's aligned, right? Make sure that everything aligns. Make sure everything is pointed in the right direction, so on and so on. And I think you get the idea. Right now, that's not the case. So there's a lot structurally about this production that feels shaky, that feels like a little uncertain. It doesn't give you like the punch and the drive that I think you're probably looking for, where this feels like simple and happy and poppy and punchy. And because that bass line moves kind of in a different direction, as does some other production elements, you're actually missing some of that like very like grounding, familiar feel of the production over this hook, which I would love to hear. Especially because I think your voice mirrors that well. Like your voice, just even like vocal texture, the way that you're singing, what you're singing mirrors a lot of what you're talking about, of just like a happy, positive, optimistic structure. Like you said, depression music, right? Like I think like depression pop, that's a lot of what I'm hearing in like some of the background elements that you have here. You have great layering to your vocals that are balanced really well, but I'm not getting that grounding element. Green, thank you for the heart me. I'm not getting that grounding element of all the production lining up and moving in the same direction. So that to me is really important. Let me move forward a little bit here. We'll move a little quicker.
Turn off your brain, turn it down. I don't think you wanna feel a thing. So hit me up, let's shut it down. Every part of town. I don't think you're listening. Hit me up, let's shut it down. Every part of town. All I wanna hear is the beat.
Like this part right here works. And you know why it works? Because I don't know if this was you or another loop from that same pack, or the engineer added in this other synth in there, but whatever was added in matches that progression. So you hear this breakdown. This breakdown actually works really, really well. Like, you know what I mean? Because everything's doing the same thing. So when you go to this breakdown, there's no other loops or no other kind of like controversial layers that are fighting each other at all. There's no, contrast in there. These two bass lines are doing the synth and the bass line are doing the same thing. So it feels really, really, really connected. Right here. So the breakdown actually works really well right here. It's just that hook where they separate a little bit.
Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day, let's go escape San
And then it starts to separate a little bit.
Turn off your brain, turn off your brain. Turn off your brain.
Layers are really nice. I like the layers a lot.
Turn off your brain, turn the pop on, get a tan a day.
Starts to slowly kind of separate because your vocal's starting to work off some of those like bells and FM synth in the background and stuff like that. Those are starting to kind of live in their own space. So you have kind of like a song over here and a song over here, and now they're slowly starting to compete with each other a little bit more, right? So those are the pockets that I'm looking for. If you can get those back together and back under control, I think you'll be in a great space. You'll be in a great space. There's some things within the vocal processing and stuff, but to me, like that's a little bit separate. Like there's some parts of your vocal that feel a little bit over restrained, like a little over suppressed, whether that's on That's crazy. I don't know why they're not letting you pin stuff. It's annoying when it does that, but there's, with some of like your lead vocals and stuff like that, where I wish it maybe could breathe a little bit more. It's maybe a little bit over compressed between multiple stages. I would love for that vocal to kind of sit a little bit more freely, a little bit more naturally in the mix. It does feel a little bit kind of choked with compression in the background right there. And I do wish that it would feel a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more open right there, maybe on the compression and EQ side. But to me, that's kind of separate from like if the foundation of the song feels shaky, then that's not going to matter that much. If the progression feels inconsistent, then that's not going to matter that much. And so I want to make sure that like the foundation of the song is really, really solid. The foundation is like really clean and clear and really connected. And from there, you can always improve on vocal tone and texture, performances, tonality and timbre. Like you can always kind of dive into those elements a little bit more distinctly. But I really, really want to focus on these like progression and production details, because those are the things that are going to, especially with a song like this, it's how you feel the song. It's the lyrics, it's the tonality of the vocal, but it really is like this production and where it moves that really determines how we feel the song and how it's expressed to people. So that to me is a really, really big deal. Let me hear the last 20 seconds here, and then we'll move on to the next record. I'll update the line here in just a second. Hey, welcome in. Well, you have a great voice. I mean, I'm just like swiping straight past that. You have a great voice and you have great range as well. I would love, I think on the engineering side too, just for that, a little bit more intention on the tracking side to get some of these takes a little bit sharper, a little bit cleaner, and then probably manually tuned. There's some times in the manual tuning where you get a little modulation between notes, and I'd love for those to be a little bit sharper and a little bit cleaner, especially in this genre, in this particular style, in this genre. I would love for it to just feel a little sharper, a little more on the nose, a little bit more in line. That's partially on, of course, the performance side, but also partially on the engineer side to just like line that up, get it really clean and really clear. That way, everything, the production, the progression, the mix itself, and then of course your vocal and the way that it cuts through is really clean, really clear, and just established very, very well. Let me hear the last 10 seconds here. Stan Vale, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Hey, thanks for tapping in. If you're on the Purple app, which is where Stan is right now, thank you for tapping in. If you're on the Purple app, type !submit right there in the chat, and the link will pop up for you right there. You can see the line that I need to update. It's not updated, so give me just a second to update it. Ro, thank you for the follow. I'll update the line here in a second, so it'll be updated for everybody. So give me 1 second for that. But y'all, please show some love to Danny D. Show some love to Danny D. I appreciate you sending in so much. Thank you for your vulnerability and always sending in your music. I appreciate it more than you know. I really love your voice and just the purpose behind the way that you express yourself in your music. I think that's valid, and I think it's really impressive what you're doing. So to me, it all just comes down to like making sure that everything is lined up and it's pointed in the same direction, because you definitely have like the talent, the underlying talent to get you moving where you want to go. So y'all show some love to Danny in the chat. Stan, the line's right here. It says I need to update it, so give me a second. But yeah, the line is always right here on the screen on the Purple and Red app. So give me 1 second, y'all. Let me update the line. I got a couple people I got to get up here. So give me just one moment. If you would like to submit, don't spam the chat, y'all. Don't spam the chat. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details. Go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details. If you want to see the line is on the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also find at my link as well. Danny, appreciate you so much. Okay, let me get these updated. Give me 2 seconds here. So Nova, I got you. Derek, I got you. Let me get y'all up there. And I think I have another one coming in, so just give me 1 moment. Let's see. Nova, got you. Let me get these in order too. And Derek, I got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all a lot. There's Derek. And let me open up over here. On TikTok, there is no. If you don't have a link for whatever reason, it's just a regional thing. The link is there. It's been there for the last like 2,000 people we've done submissions with. The link is there. If for whatever reason it's not showing up, it's just like a regional thing with TikTok. You can find my IG as well. It's the same link. I'm the same name everywhere. So just find my name on IG. It's the same link over there. For whatever reason, certain regions at certain times, the link just disappears, and I don't know why. Okay, let me get this updated. 2 seconds over here. Oh no. Derek, I got you. And let me see. Let me know really quick who just submitted through the website so I can get you over there. I just need to connect the right name. Yeah, I got you. Okay, James, I got you. Let me get James up on the board. I appreciate you, man. Derek, I'm going to get you pushed. Boom, boom. Ready to go. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for sending in. And Derek, let's go. Okay, let's get into the next song. We got Derek Bennett in the building. Line is updated. Let's dive in. This is Skywalker featuring Dubby Gut Bars. Let's get into it. We got 7 songs left. 7 songs left, and that is it. This is an unfinished demo, vocalist rough mix here. I have a version with a chill rap verse, but this one is more aggressive. I think we're going to settle on the chill version for dynamics purposes. Let me know your thoughts on that. And overall vocal structure, we've already dove into production on this one. Beautiful. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me see. All right, this is Skywalker by Derek Bennett. I've heard this production before, so we've already walked through a lot of that. We're largely going to dive into a vocal structure on this one. So let's get into it.
It's time.
Breaking the mold, I was told I'd fit in. Shades is tinted, not for disguise, just rolling my eyes. Don't like when they move, it's suspicious. Lurking in shadows with certain intentions. Swinging the roller like gallows, waiting the shallows. Filling the net like a prophet and flip it. Popping like Smith and Wesson, the weapon is kicking. Shooting for stars and hitting planets. Feeling like space invaders. If we go bar for bar, I'm the last standing. Only Mohican that's indicator elevated. Was back in the back till I recalibrated and graduated. Ain't no Kappas and Zetas. I'm talking new heights like Himalayas. Backpacking on the trail. I person I was. Might have been under a spell. Ascending and loving the rush of it. Adrenaline maxing out.
Is that the same vocal?
I could be above something. Just don't look down. Feel like I'm touching clouds. Feel like I'm touching clouds. Skywalk as high as I can. You might fall now and again. Touching clouds.
Wow. Very versatile vocal.
No slowing my roll. Feel like I be with NASA. Only one way to go. Get your boarding pass up. Feel like I'm touching clouds. Feel like I'm touching clouds. Breaking away through galaxy silence. Only my shadow stands aligned. Straying away from hostile environments.
Production structure is really cool, Derek.
The vacuum of spaces where you'll find the road less traveled, the passions burning along with the sun rays with light that could blind, but the vision unraveled while the world keeps turning, touching the clouds while I continue the climb, continue the climb. No longer the person I was, might have been under a spell, ascending and loving the rush of it, adrenaline maxing out, believing I could be above something, just don't look down, feel like I'm touching clouds, feel like I'm touching clouds.
Yeah, that makes sense. It feels really fresh.
Skywalk as high as I can, you might fall now and again, touching clouds, feel like I'm touching clouds, feel like I'm touching clouds.
I really like those bells at the top right there too. Y'all show some love to the family. That's Derek Bennett Music, great producer, composer. He wrote and produced that. Let's dive in. We're gonna run it from the top, and we're gonna get into the structure of the song right here. Largely speaking to, I think, vocal structure, because most of the production structure I think is really solid, and we've already worked through some of that as well. Same, Kate. I agree. Emna, I appreciate you tapping in. Anybody who wants to submit, we will listen to all genres, all styles, any level of quality and preparedness. If you want to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultation, which is what we do here, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details, and we'll get you up in line. The line is on the other platforms that we're live on. Superfan Derek Bennett, welcome over to the other platform. All right, let's run it from the top. Let's run it from the top. Let's run it from the top. I'm excited to get into this, man. This is a really, really cool structure. I like it a lot. The thing that I'm kind of listening for here, Emna, thank you for the follow. The thing that I'm listening for is if the lead vocal, when he's when he's singing in that register, the only thing I'm kind of, I'll say concerned with loosely. The only thing I'm concerned with is that if that vocal tone and texture and register of his feels softer than his verses. His verses have a lot of intensity, which I think is great. Has a lot of intensity, a lot of power, a lot of drive, right? I feel like that was like the rock song. Anyways, sorry, side tangent. It's about drive. Anyways, it has a lot of energy to it. And going into the hook, then his voice is a lot more like pure and clean. That's why I think we're going with a different version of the rap verse. It's soft like the rest. Yeah, that's my gut hit. It's about drive. It's about power. That's kind of my intuition. That's my I don't know if that's the perfect range, or if maybe you do a hybridizing of the two, or you have two different versions. One's that's a little bit softer, another one that maybe you bring in some like double tracked electric guitar, some metal drums, and some more intensity, and you make it a really heavy hitting one. Maybe you get a second rapper to do another verse, and it's really intense and it's really dynamic. Yeah, so because like what happens, and we'll listen to it again, right? We'll listen to it again. And I just think that coming out of that first verse, we hit the production opens up, but then the vocal gets like softer and smoother. And I feel like we lost a little bit of steam as opposed to building energy into a really dynamic hook. So that's my gut reaction. I think I kind of agree with where you're already feeling like you want to take it. Kate and Coda, thank you for the follow. That's kind of my gut reaction. I think you can kind of, go from there. If you want to do a higher intensity one, bake that into the production structure, get some electric guitars on there, get some chugs on there and make it really intense. Maybe get a second rapper on there that also has a really, high dynamic vocal structure that will really play well together. You can kind of dissect that for yourself. But yeah, I think this does warrant either just doing it the way that we're already talking about and or having a separate version where he can let loose with a little bit more intensity. I can't wait to hear a mix on this production. It's a really cool production. I like it a lot. And I love the introduction of the touching the clouds, that little vocal introduction right there. Beautiful. That's a great way to do it. That's tasteful. I like that a lot. That introduced itself really well. Touching the clouds. There's a really, really good balance between those two elements right there. Obviously, this is demo still. The vocal's very, very distinct. It's very, very forward. You already have a really good balance between those elements. So that to me is a great intuition. I love that. It'll just have to be obviously baked in. But the way that vocal is introduced, I think is fantastic. Awesome.
Breaking the mold, I was told I fit in. Shades is tinted, not for disguise, just rolling my eyes. Don't like when they move, it's suspicious.
And obviously, right now, I'm also keeping in mind the fact that this is a demo very early, and this vocal is like 6 dB louder than it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like based on where this will actually be in the production, this is like far too separate from everything else. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as well. That part of what is making this feel so intense is that it's like 7 dB forward from where it actually like will sit in the final mix. Like you have these big cinematic drums and like big rock drums that feel quiet compared to this vocal. That's also part of what is making this feel like really loud and really intense, right? So I'm keeping that in mind as well. But I also do think you could get away with some restraint from this lead vocal. And maybe unload a little bit more of this intensity going into the hook or a second verse or something like that. I mean, send it over. Just send it over. I don't care. Send it over. Do you have it? Do you have it now? Or are you still working through it? Send it over. I got you. I'll give it a sec. Send it over. I don't care. Send it over. And then we can directly compare. Yeah, if y'all ever have like two versions of something, we can A and B it. I don't mind. Because obviously a lot of times what we do, Victor, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. A lot of times we'll like go through the same structure and then we'll go back through that 2 or 3 different times to edit that to make it perfect. As opposed to, I have 2 different versions. I'm not positive on which direction we want to go stylistically, dynamically. If you ever have 2 versions of something, send both and we'll dissect them that way. That way you can we can kind of get a good feel of the direction you want to go before you like start sending it off to mixing and stuff like that. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, I see some people asking if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow all the details there. If you would like to check the line, the order, and the minimums, you can do that by going over to the other platforms that we're live on. We're live on 2 other platforms as well. You can find those platforms at my link as well. Feel free to keep a tab open over there. That way you can always keep an eye on the line, the order, and stuff like that. That way you're always aware of where you are. And that way we can keep you updated. City Street, thank you so much for tapping in. Welcome in. I hope y'all are doing amazing today. I'm just gonna wait for this file to come in from Derek. He's gonna send over another version really quick, and then we'll keep the music going. Sent it over. Okay, give me a second. Just while this loads in, we'll get this fresh email in. All right, there it is. Boom, beautiful. All right, so here's another version of it. So let's dive into this one. Hui, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Jules Music, welcome in as well. Let me get this to the right download folder. Looking for artists to interview, etc. Normal night, beautiful. I love that. All right, let's run this one real quick. I already have my instincts based off that first verse, but we'll see how this one feels. I love that.
Breaking the mold, I was told I'd fit in. Shades is tinted, not for the skies. Just rolling my eyes. Don't like when they move is suspicious. Lurking in shadows with certain intentions. Swinging the roller like gallows, waiting to shout.
Way better, way better. There's room. You know what I mean? So, like the thing that I'm hearing now is there's room for more to happen. When he comes in, da 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 da, and he's there and he's on 11 already. There's like no room. You already have big drums. You already have a heavy synth bass that comes in. He's coming in at 11. There's no room for the dynamics to really go anywhere, especially with the current premix that you have. Like, there's just no room for the energy to move. Yeah, I'm with you. I can affirm y'all's instincts on that. I'm with you. There's room to grow here, right? Instead of like starting on the climax and then you have nowhere to go but down dynamically, even if you added more strings. You can only add in so many more strings before the vocal just feels softer and the stacks don't support it, right? So that's, I think your gut reaction is exactly where you need to be.
Filling the net like
I'm going to keep going through this one because I already...
Flip it, popping like Smith and Wesson, the weapon is kicking.
You already feel it feels darker, it feels moodier. You get the low formant shifts and octaves below it with little altar boy. Like you get all this extra texture and energy in here that I didn't even know existed in the other one. Maybe it didn't. I didn't even know it existed in the other one because there's so much energy from the lead. This one, I feel like I'm feeling the song a little bit more, even though it's not mixed.
Shooting for stars and hitting planets, feeling like space invaders. If we go bar for bar, I'm the last standing. Only Mohican that's indicator. Elevated was back in the back till I recalibrated and graduated.
So much better.
Ain't no cappers.
Night and day. This feels less like it's trying, you know what I mean? Like the other one's like fine. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like the other one sounds like crap or something. Like this one sounds fine and it has a lot of good things going for it. Some aggressive stuff in the background. Yeah, he can add some of those as stacks, maybe especially second verse that might be more valuable. But this first introduction, you don't want to like give away too much too soon where like there's no room for this to move, right? There's no room for this to like really like open up dynamically because we're already at 11 out of 10 as soon as the song kicks off. So I think that's great. I think that's great. He can stack in some of the more aggressive vocal layers. Okay, Stan, I'll double check here in just 1 second. I appreciate you so much. I'll double check that once I get through this track here. But yeah, I'm with you right there. Eggman, don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you'll get muted. But if you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. Is it Mac SOS? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
You might fall now and again.
Thank you for the follow.
Down on my back.
I will get again, when it comes to like these lead melodies that are so vital to the production structure and like the song formatting itself, I would get these melodies really distinct. I know Stan, we're live on 3 different platforms, so it's all over the place. The people that are spamming are typically on TikTok. I don't know if that's just a TikTok thing, but TikTok tends to be spamming a lot today, especially. I don't know what it is. It's fine, Harl. I gotta do my puzzle on TikTok. Give me a second. Yeah, Stan's like what? Stan's over on the. I have to speak in code because of TikTok. Stan is over on the Purple app. And he's like, what are you talking about, spam? He's like, I'm chilling over here with like 3 people. He's just chilling. And he's like, what are you talking about, spam? Who are you talking to? Phantom over here. Yeah, we're live on, YT, the red app. We're live on TikTok, of course. Yeah, the purple app, the red app, and TikTok. So I appreciate you joining. Yeah, you get to sit in the silence of the purple app for a little bit. And just in case, Stan, just in case you get ads or anything like that, feel free to jump around to different platforms. That's one of the reasons why we're live on a couple different platforms, so people can move around to optimize their experience a little bit. So if it gets annoying on here, hop over to the red app. You can bounce back and forth a little bit too. Just because I know sometimes the ads, and of course, there's always you get a free sub with Amazon Prime and stuff like that can take away the ads and stuff like that too. But anyways, everyone do what they wish, but you can jump around a little bit that way. You don't have to worry about it because sometimes, no, I got 5 minutes of ads. I'm like, I can't do anything about it. Okay, let's keep it running.
Skywalk as high as I can.
Like these early melodies, fantastic. Really, really good.
You might fall down again.
Beautiful repetition right there. Fabulous. Love it.
Touching ground.
Like that. I want to get that melody really clean. There's a couple little spots where it's kind of taken by the auto tune. I don't know if you're going to send the engineer a dry vocal. You can let me know. If you are sending the engineer a dry vocal, I'll just make sure that that melody hits, because that to me is like the punchline of this melody. And then you hear kind of, he'll get a dry. Beautiful. I just make sure those don't let that just be swallowed by the auto tune. Like make sure that melody is really distinct to get that really sharp, because that to me is like the punchline of the melody right here. And that to me matters so much. Stack that, make that distinct, make it really polished. I think it's a great melody choice. You hear the auto-tune catching some notes in there, and which makes the melody feel a little bit insecure, and I'd love for it to feel a little bit stronger right there. W processes his vocals a lot. He's got such a great voice. Yeah, 100%. Kiko, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. If anybody wants to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details. If you're on the purple app, type !submit. If you're on the red app, then you can go to the description for the live stream, and submission is right there. You hear it with the echo in the background as well.
Back up above, down on my back, then got back up above. No slowing my roll. Feel like
What's up, Zayle? Welcome in.
Only one way to go. It's your boarding pass. Feel like I'm touching clouds. Feel like I'm touching clouds. Breaking away through galaxy silence.
Yeah.
Only my shadow.
What's up, Jenna?
Stands aligned, straying away from hostile environment.
I'm really liking the production. Now that I'm hearing the context of the vocals, I'm really appreciating where this production sits.
The vacuum of space.
Y'all, we're not listening to popular artists.
You'll find the road less traveled, the passions burning along with the sun rays with light that could blind, but the vision unraveled while the world keeps turning, touching the clouds while I continue the climb. Continue the climb. No longer the person I was. Might have been under a spell. Ascending and loving the rush of adrenaline.
Like this would be a pocket where I would introduce some of those more powerful vocals, because you have dramatic dynamic range, right? Like between this, what's up, Retrack? Welcome in. Like this really like dark move outside of this like second verse right here, it breaks a little bit, and then he goes back into a very I could hear that Zayle 100% John Bellion infused. You go into a really like comfortable, or W goes into a very comfortable vocal. Like it's very straight. There's nothing wrong with it. It sounds really clean. It sounds really good. He's got a great voice. There's some good lyric structure here. It's very like comfortable. This is a pocket where I would infuse with some more intense vocals, right? A little bit more aggression, a little bit more intensity, some layers that have some energy and some vibrancy to them. Leakum, thank you so much. Or Leah Cam, maybe? Leakum, Leah Cam, either one. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That to me would be a good pocket to infuse some energy and infuse a little bit more dynamics there, just because it's not really supported by the production. You have a really clean, thank you for the heart me, a really clean, a really beautiful vocal, but then this like massive sounding production. And so I want the energy to feel a little bit more connected. Essentially the reason I'm here is I think I've been dirty a bit with an included included mix and master from the studio I've recorded with and only got one chance to feedback on the mix, which is like not no. Yeah, you should get revisions. So I'm interested in your opinions. Just sending this now because I'm switching over to TikTok domain. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Stan. And if you want to send any other info, Stan, to the email that you sent with your file, feel free to do that as well. Sometimes people give me a background on the song. They give me their experience. They give me specifically what they're looking for, where they're like, hey, I'm looking for vocal structure. I need help choosing production. My kick just sounds really bad and I don't know what to do about it. A lot of people, will come in and try to bullet point some of the things that they're looking for specifically. So if you want to put that in an email as well, that's definitely helpful. Thank you for the heart, me Nova. I appreciate you so much. Retracts in the building. Retract, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, this pocket right here, Derek, would be a really, really nice, moment to introduce some higher intensity vocals layered with that to make sure that the dynamics of the vocal matches the dynamics of the production.
Might have been under a spell, ascending and loving the rush of it.
Retrack, right on time. Retrack. It has been crazy today. Retrack, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to make sure you're supported, man. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. It's been wild. I don't know what is up with the algo, but it's been crazy today. So thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got you. Whatever you need, man. Crazy. Anyways, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for the help.
I'm maxing out, believing I could be above something. Just don't look down. Feel like I'm touching clouds.
Almost a little Ed Sheeran-esque right there as well. Beginning of this outro.
Feel like I'm touching clouds.
Yeah, beautiful. Y'all show some love to Derek Bennett. Derek Bennett, love and appreciate you. Is Zayle, I'll double check in a second. Love and appreciate what you do, man. If you're interested in what Derek offers, he's a great producer, composer, writer. Definitely tap in with him. Get with him. He goes live every once in a while as well. Get with him for like cinematic productions and rock productions, contemporary productions. Definitely tap in with him. Help him grow as well. Should be getting vocals back this week. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Love it. Show some love to Derek. Yeah, I think you have like much better direction on the song right now too. I think sometimes it can feel like the song runs away from what you're trying to do, and I think so far what you have going on, it gives you a little bit more direction. It should connect a lot more. Stan Vale is over on TikTok. Welcome over, Stan Vale. Thanks for tapping in. Coming over from the purple. Michael, thanks for the follow as well. I appreciate you so much. Oh, y'all are totally good. No worries at all. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just make sure I update really quick. Zayle, I got you. And let me see real quick. Ba-da-da-da. And then Stan. Are your initials SN? Just so I can extra 5. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got you. Let me get these all connected. Let me get everyone in the right place. Yeah, just making sure that was you. Perfect. I try not to say people's names just in case they don't. People get mad sometimes. Okay, so I got to get these in order. So I'm going to get these up in the order that I have them, that they come in, because that's the best way. So let me get Zayle. I got you. Shout out to Zayle. Zayle, I appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for joining, man. I got Zayle. Boom. And I've got Stan right there. Beautiful. Stan, right now you're second. Up to you if you want to move. I'm willing to do whatever. No popular artists, y'all. No popular artists. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the steps right there. And then again, I would just encourage you to keep the other platforms up on another tab or something, another screen, so you can constantly see the line, the order, the minimums, and stuff like that. I'm trying to keep everything in order of what I have here. Derek, just because of Derek, I'll play Creed. Imagine just one live. I'll just be like, fine. F it. And I'm just going to play Creed, Sabrina Carpenter, and Ed Sheeran for the rest of the live. And we'll all have, for the super fan, for the rest of the live, I'm going to play nothing. But yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're going to love it. Okay, yeah. So let me know, because I know, Stan, you sent wanting to see if that 5 would make you next. So let me know if you want. Let me just double check here. Nova, I got you. Let me get things updated here. Yeah, we're gonna do nothing but Creed and Florida Georgia line. We're gonna do nothing but Creed and Florida Georgia line for a whole live, and just have a grand old time. I don't know why Florida Georgia line popped into my head. Are they still around? Are they canceled or something? I don't know what's going on these days. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm caught up, y'all. 1 second. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so let's get into some music here. Sorry, I'm out of control over here. We got Zayle in the building. Okay, let me double check real quick. Can you play Paper Planes by Torvik Music? I would if it didn't demonetize me on YouTube for playing my own music. Okay, let me just make sure I'm updated here real quick. 3 a.m.'s crazy. 3 a.m. is crazy. Okay, line is current. So let me know. I know. It's like that. It is kind of a shame. So I will probably be like these live streams don't matter on YouTube. They really don't. But at the same time, I'm like, well, if I can keep them above, then it'd be nice. But anytime that I listen, actually, I think I've already listened to a song on Spotify, so we're already cooked. It's fine. We're already cooked, so I technically could, but we'll save that for another moment. Okay. So yeah, keep the lineup, Stan, just so you can kind of see where everything's at. Line is current right now. Where have Zayle, Stan, and Nova. That is current. So if you're willing to wait 20 to 30 minutes, but again, the line moves around all the time. It's people come in, they skip, and they move around a little bit. So it's kind of up to y'all if you feel like you're wanting to. 3 doors, Raphael. I don't know if that was a joke or not, but it is very funny regardless. I'm glad that you're here. DJ M Styles, thanks for joining. I know it's 3 a.m. for you, so I'm willing to figure it out. Let me just see really quick. 21. And so it goes by 5. Otherwise, we would be bidding. Yeah, I don't know if because sometimes there's different, and also because it's 3 a.m. I don't know if there's like currency translation sometimes. So I'll randomly get like $14.98 on like PayPal and different stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I got you. And then let me pull yours up, Sam. I know you got to go, so I'm gonna run yours next, no matter what. If you send in that 4, that way I can keep these locked in. Essentially with this one, had it in a great spot working on it in post-production, but feel like the included mix and master just like prioritized volume so much and kind of flattened the dynamic range. I feel that more than you know. Interested in your opinion. We got the SoundCloud right here. Let's get into it. Let me update that. And then as soon as I get that, we'll run it. That way I can make sure you're up. And then thank y'all for the follows as well. I appreciate that a lot. All right, let's dive in. This is Half the Time. I think that's what it's called, right? Half the Time by Stan Vale. Let's get into it, man. Any other context you want me to know? We're about to dive into some details. We're going to get into the nuance of it. So any other details that you want to know, let me know. Drop it in the chat. The role that you play in the structure of your music, stuff like that. Let's dive in. This is Half the Time. This is a master that we got. So I'm assuming based on the context you gave me that you went to a studio, got a studio mix done, right? So you booked time at a studio, tracked your vocals. They sent you the studio mix. Most likely just crushed it with like a limiter and a soft clipper, sent it out to you, and it was game over, right? I'm assuming that was kind of loosely what happened. Or did you send this off to an engineer and it got it like mixed separately by an engineer at a studio? Let me know. Because oftentimes people will get a studio mix, not an engineered mix, and that's not really a dissected mix. They like balance it loosely, throw a limiter on it, and send it out, which might be what happened here. So let me know the distinction between the two, and we'll dive into it.
You call me to say some things you have to get out.
Thank you for the follow, Riley.
Forget them, put it out of my mind. You told me forgive you, not a shadow of doubt. Instead I remembered, pushed you out again. You said you're mine, just half of the time. You said you'd want me to, but couldn't make up your mind. I said you're mine, said you're
Who produced this?
all of the time. It's sad I'd wanted you.
Got you.
But I was just on the side. Na, 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 na.
Did you produce this yourself? Cameron Nesco produced. Okay, cool. Nice. I like the vibe. I like the aesthetic.
So get that into your mind. I said you're mine, and that was all of the time that I would waste on you.
what you're saying and the descriptions here. There's not a lot of room for your vocal there. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, North Grain. I like the vibe of this a lot. It's grungy, it's nasty. Hold on, it's playing the next track. It's grungy, it's nasty. TC Moser, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Is it Varima? Am I saying that correctly? Thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. Y'all show some love to Stanville. They hopped on over from the Purple app. They're over here on TikTok right now. Show some love to Stanville. I like your voice. I like the vibe. It's dark. It's moody. It's a really, really cool aesthetic. So I'm excited to dive into this. I do agree with some of what you're saying. The mix itself overall doesn't necessarily feel super squashed to me. There's some individual elements that I do feel lack some dynamic range. And I spent so much time in post trying to keep dynamics while keeping space for the instruments. Yeah. So like, I feel like your vocal, one of the reasons why you're not getting separation is your vocal does feel a little bit suppressed. Your vocal does feel a little bit limited and kind of held back in the mix, while the rest of the production kind of swallows it, right? And just once the rest of that production kicks in, and then I sent off and I was like, oh, yeah, it happens. It happens. I do wish that this production wrapped your vocal a little bit better. I think maybe a little bit, thank you for the follow, a little bit more like tasteful mid-side processing to kind of cut a little bit of space for that vocal to sit in the middle where a lot of that production is kind of ringing right now, and maybe reintroduce some of that energy wide. But I need a pocket for that vocal to sit in, because you do have a good voice and it's a good vibe and it's a cool production too. So I do want the production to be loud. I do want it to be dynamic. I do want it to have a lot of energy. But once you get into like the B section of the song, you kind of completely lose any separation and clarity for that vocal, and your vocal is just trying to be forced over the top of the production, as opposed to there just being space for these elements to kind of coexist. So that is something that I'm picking up on. We can dive into just really briefly. There's one other thing. Okay, really quick before we dive into it, quick gut reaction on some timing things in here. I love this. Like I've said this already 4 times. I love the vibe, love the aesthetic, love so much of what you're doing here. There's some times where your vocal is a bit in front of the pocket. Actually, I would say most of the song, your vocal is in front of the pocket, right? This whole aesthetic to me is very like dark, moody, chill, grungy garage band. It's supposed to be a little bit rough around the edges, and your vocal feels kind of latency compensated. And I want that vocal to fit either in or behind the pocket, maybe even a little bit more, to give it more of this like kind of like this loose drive and even a little bit of texture outside. Right now, most of it's fairly in front of the pocket, which makes it feel even like more anxious, right? Than the structure of like the this like lazy feel. Yeah, it's a little in front, which makes it feel like faster and higher energy as opposed to like more moody and like more like a completely different energy, right? So that's the way my brain is working with it. There's a couple times where I think even the production speeds up. Very cool. I will just make sure that what you're doing vocally and the timing of how your vocal sits on the playlist in the DAW matches the energy of what's happening in the production. So honestly, there's probably some things where you could just like manually move some things around. You could get in Melodyne and do it a little bit. Yeah, it does. Exactly. It does increase a little bit later on. It does increase quite drastically through the songs. It's supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. 100%. So what I would say is like, in order for me to like feel that without it just being noisy, like, because we talk about this all the time. There's a sweet spot, right? There's a sweet spot between like the creative intention and what's palatable by people listening to it. So if when the production speeds up, which I heard that when it's kind of like, maybe 2 minutes in or so, or a minute and a half, 2 minutes in, it speeds up by, I don't know, like 8 BPM or something. It speeds up quite a bit. When it does get faster right there, I just want everything to feel like it moves that direction, because it does increase the angst. It does increase like the tension of the song. But if the vocal kind of stays way behind again, or it's still way in front of it again, then it just starts to sound noisy. And I am perfectly fine with like tension, right? And dissonance. And like, I'm perfectly fine with some like creative stuff that makes you feel a little unsettled. it's got to kind of be, it's like, and I don't even know where the line is. It's got to kind of be within some parameters that's still fairly palatable, that's still fairly grounded so that it's not just noise. It's not just offbeat, right? It's just not working together. So there's a sweet spot. And I think that sweet spot could be edited slightly. And I think you said, so this is what's kind of the part that's annoying you a little bit too, as you said, they didn't give any revisions, right? Or they like one revision or something like that. That you got the mix and master done in studio with your tracking, and they didn't offer any revisions. Evil, welcome in. One revision. Dang. One revision, especially for like an artist that you don't work with consistently, is like tough because you don't even know necessarily that you're like respecting the stylistic decisions that you are trying to make. Like, you just don't know. So like, here's the thing. I don't have any limitation. I know a lot of producers and a lot of engineers that are like, I'll do 3 revisions, do 5 revisions. I have never once in my entire career of being an audio engineer or being a producer or a session musician, have I ever limited revisions. If I want more, 300 a piece. Yo, that's wild. Asking if I want more is 300 a piece. That is crazy. That's as much as like most like mixes cost, generally speaking. You know what I mean? Like, not always. Obviously, there's a lot of thousands and thousands of dollars in mixes, but 300. Yeah, no, I mean, I totally understand. I totally understand you saying that. That's crazy. I know personally, like, Billboard charting, Grammy winning or Grammy nominated, like musicians, producers, and engineers, and none of them are doing that. That to me is like a little bit of that's a little bit of a cash grab to me. That's a bit of like, I got to be honest with you, man. Like, and this is not to, I don't want, to be fair, I don't want to make you feel worse about the situation you already feel shitty about. I'm not trying to do that. So, take it for what it is. That's a cash grab, because if you don't execute the mix to the vision of the artist, or even give a chance for like good communication between you to be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Maybe, like there's got to be room. There's got to be room. Anyways, I've never limited revisions, and I've never gone past 4. You know what I mean? The revision cycle really has to do mostly with communication, good, healthy communication between the artist and the engineer that you're working with. If you are a good engineer and you're a good producer, you should be able to communicate well about your services and what you're offering, and should be able to work well with the artist. That to me, like, if you can communicate. So the thing is like, I'll get my first revision or a second revision. And if I'm not understanding, if we get past 2 revisions and it's still not clicking, they still want their vocal way louder, and it's still, or there's a little bit of a discrepancy behind what I think we should be hearing as a professional versus what they want, like, that is about communication. And so usually what I will say, or what I'll like, what's up, time? Usually what I'll talk about when it comes to like revisions, again, I've been a professional engineer for 14 years, like over 14 years at this point. And as a professional engineer, have never gone past, four revisions, five like tops, maybe. Never gone past like four or 5 revisions. Thank you for the follow. And the reason why is if I've gone past 2 revisions, if I have gone past 2 revisions and we're in a little bit of a loop already, then I need to communicate differently, and I need to find the way. So I'll hop on a call with the artist and say, hey, here's what's happening here. Let me show you kind of what's happening in the mix. You're saying that you want your vocal here. Here's how that is affecting the mix. Are you saying you want your vocal here, or would you rather have these guitars back a little bit? And are you willing to trade that energy in order to get clarity for your vocal? Because the production you sent me has all of these elements that are sitting in the same space of your vocal. And then the artist will be like, oh yeah, definitely. Let's pull those guitars back by 3 dB. Let's leave more space for the vocal. And then we're done. And then I say, okay, I'll do that right now. And I do it in the DAW, and then I send it to them, and we're done. And we're done, because we communicated about the actual issue. If you got someone who, man, now you got me heated, Stan. Now you got me heated. They also tried to charge another $300 to get my own stems and multi, which also, Stan, and it was my first studio experience, so just a bit bummed out about it. Never go back to those people. Never go back to those people. Yeah, someone who isn't a producer. Yeah, Never go back to them. That's absolutely outrageous. I don't know what you don't have to tell us. I don't know what you spent on the mix itself, but that is not a studio that's worth anyone's time. You can get so if you want to get a mix and another revision and your stems back, which not everyone stems, to be fair, not everyone sends the mix stems back. I'll give you that. But if you wanted to get all of that, you're looking at like $900. I know. Dude, I know people with like major Grammys that charge that amount. So, and that will get it absolutely perfect. So, give people a heads up. Yeah. Feel free to drop them in the chat. I don't care. I'm not. Yeah, like that's ridiculous. Anyways, okay. I don't want to spend this whole time being like, hey, that's effed up and sucks for you. As a discounted rate, which was like $300 for the day and included mix and master. Yeah. So here's the thing, Stan. Here's what a lot of these people will do is they will discount initially and then upcharge like crazy. Upcharge. It's like imagine if you could like get into Disney World for $10 for the entire day and then everything that's in Disney World is 10x. That's all they did. Like all they did was say like, hey, you can get into Disney World for $10, but we're going to charge you for every single roller coaster, $50 a roller coaster. And you're like, okay, so if I want to go on 4 roller coasters, I'm just paying for the ticket in. That's all they did. So that happened. Very unfortunately, 2003, welcome in. Very unfortunately, your experience is not unique. There are a lot of studios that discount things, and it's just a way of like trapping people. It's just a way of they're struggling to get people in for studio time. A lot of studios are, especially a lot of independent boutique studios. A lot of people record at home now, and they send to people like me. They send to other engineers that have their own production studios in house, and they do everything themselves remotely. And so it's more and more rare that people are going to like small boutique studios and charging $75, $80, $100 an hour to book a couple songs. And then you get to the other side. And so they're trying to get people in the door, and then they rip people off. So they're more than happy to have made the $300. Where can you go? I mean, to be honest, I think it's more. It depends on where you are. There are some great studios out there, right? It depends on where you are. I think you're probably better off. Most people are better off learning to record at home, getting a pretty good setup at home, like save up some money and spend $1,000. I'm not, I say this loosely. This is not in everyone's capacity. Save up some money and spend $1,000 setting up a corner of your room with a little bit of treatment, get a decent interface and a pretty good microphone, maybe even a decent preamp, and learn how to record at home. Learn how to record. And I was trained in studio. I value the studio. I value being in a major studio. There's some great ones out there, but for the vast majority of people, learn how to record your home. Then that $1,000 or even more, like that $1,000 or you can spend endless, $1,000, $2,000, even less. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you for the follow as well. That pays for your studio time forever. You know what I mean? That pays for the next 3 days. You would like in 3 days of studio booking, you have the next 5 years of studio time, and it's all at home, right? And then invest in sending it to another engineer. I've met friends who actually have shit, so it's hopefully, yeah, exactly. Like I would say if you want to go cheap, get a Lewitt LCT 240 Pro, get an audio Universal Audio Volt 1. And a decent pair of headphones, and for $250, you're recording at home. Pretty good, pretty nice. You know what I mean? And then send it to someone. Like you would be better off than just sending it to someone and paying them, let's say $300 to $500. Like I would say $300 to $600 is a good range for like an independent, like a really good independent engineer. $300 to $600 is a good price for a pretty fantastic, like really like well-structured engineer that's independent. If it's a label mix, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but $300 to $600 is a good range for a really solid engineer. And then send it to them every time. You never have to book studio time again, and you can just send it off to people that are already established, they already have all the gear. They already spent too much money on headphones. They already treated their space, and you're not getting ripped off by anyone else. You can just send it to someone who who is not going to waste your time and is gonna give you probably a better result. Yeah, $300 per, and then like go, email a couple of people, right? So like you'll email someone and they'll say, yeah, I'm $250 and I give 5 revisions. After that, it's $50 a revision. You go to the next person, they'll say, I'm $700, but I've got a Billboard chart. I was nominated for a Grammy and I was a session musician for Coldplay. I don't know, right? Like and then you'll go to the next person who says, hey, I'm independent. I'm a boutique engineer. I'm $400. I give unlimited revisions. I've got this. Here's what I do. This is what I do full time. Here's some credit, whatever. Like, and just email a couple people, listen to a couple of songs that they have and then just see what fits. But unfortunately, never go back to those people. Nobody. If you want to drop their studio name, please do. I don't want anybody to get ripped off by these people. But anyways, here's what I would do with your song, right? And then I'll move on to the next song. Hopefully, I hope this is helpful. I hope it's not discouraging. I hope it gives you some autonomy. I hope it gives you, yeah, exactly. I hope it gives you some autonomy. Hopefully, it empowers you a little bit, like because you do have a good sound. You do have a good structure to what you're doing. Already spoke about vocal timing and stuff like that in there as well. On your lead vocal, if you're going to be handling any of this yourself, trying to do it off of your dry or your raw before, D-Rec, I appreciate you, man. If you're trying to do it off of like kind of what you're doing before, if you're trying to edit the master on what you have here, that's going to have its own limitations. But one thing, or two things really quick. One is I would loosen, just to get played like crazy is insane. It is, dude, trust me. I know many people. There are many people here on this app that talk about music and stuff like that, and review and engineer and whatever and stuff like that. And I know many of them that have ripped people off. I know people personally that I thought were cool. I thought they were solid, and they've sold broken mics to people. They've ripped people off. They have charged someone $400 for a mix, and then they got sent back the same demo and said, I won't revise it. I've seen it all. You're not alone, man. You're not alone. So anyways, two things really quickly, and then I'll move on to the next song. With your vocal, one of the things that will help it stand out and will help you give a little bit more prominence to it is to loosen some of the processing on it. Right now, the things that I like are what you're doing are like stylistically. So I like the overdrive. I like the saturation. I like some of the processing of your ambience, delays, reverb, stuff like that. What I don't like is that it's a little bit over squashed. What I don't like is some of the over de-essing that has happened in tandem to a little bit more, in tandem to the saturation and the overdrive. So you're losing some of the natural phrasing of your vocal. What's up, MK? You're losing some of your natural, over de-essing. So the threshold of the DS being a little bit low, and then losing some of the natural phrasing of your vocal. So the DS helps take no, I got you. That's what we're here for. The DS takes care of your sibilance, which is typically your S's, T's, sometimes like C's, K's, depending on how they slice through the mix. So sibilance is just those harsh S's and T's. So a de-esser does exactly kind of what it sounds like. It de-esses. It helps take care of some of the more frustrated and transient and kind of slicing frequencies that are cutting in that are making the mix sound abrasive and harsh and brittle. So what they've done is they've done some of that, but they've just pulled it down so far that it gives you a lisp a little bit. It takes away like the natural phrasing of your vocal instead of it, like you can still hear that when someone is saying an S or a T, it just doesn't sound harsh, right? Either like on my vocal, like I can say S's and T's and it doesn't like slice through through the mic and pierce your ears, but it also doesn't sound like I have a lisp, right? It has control and it's like balanced about it. And they said they couldn't hear it. Well, I promise you they could hear it for $300. Like, that's so stupid. Like, oh, I don't hear anything unless you pay me $300. Like, it's so crazy. It's driving me nuts. The fee to be able to hear good engineering is just wild to me. What a wild access fee. For $300, they can hear that your vocal is overcompressed, which is so stupid. And you know what? They do that on purpose. They throw a preset on your vocal, they crush everything in the mix, and then say, whoopsies, sorry, if you would like to fix it, it's $300. It's insane. It's insane. Anyways, so that is, regardless of what they did, separate, they did their shit, they did their thing. That sucks. That's annoying. Here's where we are. We're here now, right? That vocal does need to be loosened because you lose your natural phrasing and you lose your ability for that vocal to kind of cut into the mix with the words that you're saying, right? So that needs to be loosened. Again, I'm saying this loosely is all stuff that you can do later on as you're working on your own records, or stuff to listen for when you're working with a different engineer, right? So look for a little bit more natural phrasing, less de-essing. The threshold can be a little bit higher. Your vocal is also a bit over compressed, so it's brick wall, right? Your vocal never like cuts in a little bit. There's no wavering in dynamics. Your vocal's kind of flatlined across the board. Yeah, 100%, man, absolutely. It's a little bit flatlined, right? So your vocal doesn't reduce or increase in energy at all. Now, I like control. Like I talk about using multiple compressors all the time, but I prefer that it's a little bit more transparent typically, to where you still have some natural dynamics and flow to your vocal. It doesn't feel like it's hit a ceiling and it's not going anywhere, right? You just lose the natural life of the vocals, right? So those two things right there to me are really important. And then the other is just the timing. The other is the timing and making sure. Now, the last thing that I'll say, and then we'll move on. The last thing that I'll say is one of the ways that you can, if you have a big wall of sound, noisy production, which I love, right? This could be for like a grungy, raw, organic rock record like this. This could be for EDM and dubstep. This could be for a crazy house record. This could be for like guitar solos in a country song, right? If you have a noisy, loud record, right, that you have a wall of sound that needs to be worked through with that vocal. Typically, the way that I will address that is with what's called mid-side processing. You can watch a bunch of YouTube videos on this as well, but largely what you're talking about is carving space and middle channel versus full stereo, or not even full stereo spectrum, but your side channels, your mid channel and your side channels. Now, your mono lead vocal, which you're recording right down the middle, is largely sitting in that middle channel, in that mid channel. So what you can do with mid-side is on the production or on some of the instruments or on an aux or something like that, you can carve space in the instrumentation where the fundamental frequencies of your vocal sits. Yep, exactly, right? So let's say typically between like 600 hertz and 1200 hertz-ish, kind of depends on the vocal and your range and your register, but 600 hertz and 1200 hertz, where a lot of the fundamental frequencies of your vocal lies. On the instrumentation, I can carve some space right there only in the middle of the mix, not in the full stereo spectrum, but in the middle of the mix for the lead vocal to cut through with clarity and with presence. And then if I need to regain that energy, I can go into the side channels of that EQ and regain that same 600 to 1200 hertz in the side in order to make sure that the mix sounds vibrant and wide and powerful, but none of those frequencies are actually cutting into the vocal structure right there, right? So that middle channel leaves space for that vocal to lie. Maybe your kick, snare, and bass and that vocal are cutting through and everything else kind of wraps around. This will make the mix feel really vibrant, really wide, really open without too many elements stepping on each other's toes. Is it in post-production and then they just slammed all down in the middle? Oops, C3, yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. So for one, y'all show some love to Stan Vale. Show some love to Stan Vale. I know we've talked a lot. I think you have a great sound. I think you have a great aesthetic. I like the mood of the song. I like so much of what's going on. I'm so sorry for this unfortunate industry, which has a lot of snakes and has a lot of people that are trying to take advantage. There's a lot of people struggling, man. There's a lot of studios that are going out of business. There's a lot of engineers that are not getting work. There's a lot of producers that are not getting hired. There's a lot of like sync libraries that are struggling to get people in. People are fighting with AI. They're trying to figure stuff out. There's a lot of people that are struggling, and when people struggle, they do damned things. And a lot of people turn to trying to market better. Some people turn to lowering prices. Some people turn to just improving their skill and making themselves more viable, or, more viable to the industry and to their clients. And then other people turn to scamming. So unfortunately, you happen to hit one of the people that turned to scamming and book something that was not to your benefit. But I'm so sorry that happened. That's very unfortunate. But hopefully you can gain some personal knowledge. Yep. Unfortunately. And again, it's a learning journey. I would get everything up front. So nearly every single client that comes to me asks those questions first, and I would do the same. It's an unfortunately inexpensive lesson for you, but most everyone that ever comes to me for engineering, they say like, hey, here's the song, here's how many files I got. Is it off a 2-track? Is it off the multi-track? How many do you do revisions? How many revisions do you do? Do you do half up front, half at the end? Like, how does this work? And I make sure to lay all of that out for every single client. So I talk to them about revisions to ease that side of the equation. Talk to them about, you know, payment structure and what would hopefully be, you know, hopefully be a little bit easier for them as well. For work for the last 3 months has gone straight into paying the studio. Yeah, brutal. Yeah, never do it again. You learned an expensive lesson, but get all this stuff in writing up front. Get all that stuff in at least in a message and an email and a contract up front so that you can get a good idea of what these producers and stuff are. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, y'all show some love, man. If it helps at all, everybody go follow Stan. Go follow Stanville. Stan, I appreciate you tapping in today. I really appreciate you being here. DT, it is so good to see you and your brother. I hope you're doing fantastic. Give me just 1 second to update the line. We'll keep moving. We'll keep moving with some other music. Meera, I got you, Meera. Thank you so much for your submission. I appreciate you a lot. Let me get you up in the line as well. We got 5 songs left, y'all. Meera, I got you. Thank you so much for your submission. I appreciate that. You're in line. We got Zayle up next. Really quick, if anybody would like to submit, you definitely can. Still can. We got 5. Oh, you're good, DT. We're just getting moving. I'm the one who's late. Actually, DT, I got on late today to get through a couple songs. We got 5 songs left. The line is wide open. Anyone can submit. Anybody can skip. I do need to update the minimums though, based on how many people we have lined. So, like I mentioned before, please keep your eye up on the other lines as well on the other platforms that we're live on, so that you can kind of see where everything sits. You can always see where you're at in the line. You can see who is at the top if you want to move. You can see the minimums and how many songs that we have left. So if we have like 2 songs left and you're 13th on the list, you'll kind of understand where things are at. I just want to make sure that's why we have that line up on the other platforms. So you can always kind of see like, all right, let me just hit the hay, and I'll come back the next time. Or if you want to move faster, you can always do that. Z and R1, is it Ravage? R1 Vage? Thank you for the follows. I really appreciate that. But yeah, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details, and we'll get you up on the board. Let's run it. Zayle's in the building. Let's run it, Zayle. All right. That was a fun one. Let's see. Zayle completed my album press tour in New York. Zayle's fire, by the way. In New York during the blizzard, met up with an Egyptian artist, Faluka, at our studio and came up with a few Zayle versions to show what I could do. Arabic and flower bass, feeling special. Let's get into it. This is on SoundCloud. Let me know. Let me know what's happening in this track, man. If you got any other details, Zayle's over on the Purple app right now. I just got their 10 on there. Is it different than that? Let me know, Meera. Let me know. I don't think I know Meera. I don't know if we've heard Meera before. I did get 10 on Ven from Meera, and I got her up in the line. Let me know, Meera, if you had different credit, and I'll look for it. I don't think so. That name doesn't feel familiar to me. But let me know. I'm happy to check for it. Saving it for summer and tweaking it around. Okay, beautiful. Okay, perfect. Got you. Yeah, I got you. You're up on the board. I got you in line. Yeah, of course. I appreciate the submission. Thank you for tapping in today. Some of y'all hopped in while we're having like a serious studio talk. So let's get back into some music. I'm excited to keep it going. This is Faluka, and this is Zayle's Hidden Garden edit. Let's get, okay, first time. Welcome, man. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for your submission as well. All right, this is Faluka. And I'm assuming, Zayle, this is kind of like your remix. This is pre-release. This is not out yet, but this is going to be released during the summer. If you don't know Zayle, he's a powerhouse producer. So I'm excited to get into this. But yeah, Zayle, if you got any other details, let me know. Hold on, it's making me stop. Love that 7. Yeah, I love that, Zayle. Love the automation on the formants. Some of the tape stops. Interesting. Yeah. The artist is. Little double time. Thank you for the heartbeat, DT. Yeah, it's a great hybrid, man. Let's go, Zayle. 4 more songs, y'all. 4 more songs. Y'all make sure to keep the lineup as well, since we're getting towards the end a little bit. Lots of automation lanes. Super interesting production structure, man. How deep are you into this production? How deep are you into like the structure of this, as far as like finalizing it? Dude, your sound design is so incredibly interesting. Y'all show some love. That is Zayle. That is Zayle. The artist is Feluca. This is Zayle's Hidden Garden edit. Let's dive into it, man. Always down for multiple live versions. Yeah, 100%, man. Let's dive in. I'm excited to get into the details here. Let's get into the structure of it. This is really, really interesting sound design. The structure is really engaging. It's vibey. I love the energy of it. Zayle always comes with some really like fascinating sound design choices and automation. I love Zayle's productions. It's just like, maybe it's like my ADHD. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like if music gets too like static, like again, like there's like the professional side of what I do where I'm like, I want things to feel grounded and have some really like, you know, formatting is really important. Repetition and pattern recognition is really important. So I want that always to be within a structure. And then the other side of me is like brutal ADHD that loves the twists and turns of Zayle's music that like, I feel like I'm chasing rabbit holes and whatever, like over here looking at all these different directions. And I love that. It keeps my brain like really, really engaged. So my brain is always incredibly happy listening to Zayle's music. It's so fun. It's so fun. But what I love about it, Zayle, is you still do keep a grounded progression, some pattern recognition, and sampling repetition. Like you have a lot of other structure in here that is really, really well formatted that still keeps both of those things in line in this production. I think that's beautiful. So let's run it from the top. This is Zayle's Hidden Garden edit. Let's dive in. There's really like one kind of overarching detail that I'm listening for in this structure that I want to dive into, that I want to address. So let's get into it. I love my iconic samples so much to ever get them up. Oh no, you never should, Zayle. You never should. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hold on. Sometimes they're kind of SoundCloud's kind of annoying about starting it. There we go. Even just like some of like the movement right here is really interesting. Timing structure is interesting. Love the filtering of the background vocals too. Like again, the sound design kind of feels, I could play Spotify. The sound design feel like it's coming from every different angle. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like, you know, 4D. The way that you're filtering and creating space with your reverbs is really, really nice. I love it. I love it. This whole first section here I think is really engaging to listen to. You also have some like phantom filter and chains in the background too, right? Like some other triggered like cutoffs and like triggered side chains in the background too that are kind of like stuttering the vocal a little bit. I like it.
It's weird. It's quirky. And you're still, there's still some level of clarity right there. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. Tori's medicated mixed advice available at CVS. I wish. Give me the sponsorship in this economy. Okay, let me see. You're like formant and pitch automation is fantastic. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so here's, to be honest, this might be like the only thing. What's up, Kai? Welcome in. Jay and Bam, appreciate you tapping in as well. I've been abusing Altamore to the max. Pause with that. That's a crazy phrase. That's a crazy phrase to say. Still waiting for the OnlyFans. Same, bro. That's a Zayle. With no context, Zayle, that is a wild phrase to say on the internet. I get what you're saying, Zayle. I completely understand what you're saying, but that is a wild ass phrase. Okay, pause. Let me. Yeah, it's honestly Sound Toys. Sound Toys is the one to blame. Let me back it up here a little bit. Okay, here's the only thing that I kind of wish I got a little bit more out of this. The lead vocal samples are so good. I love that they're a little bit crushed. They're a little down sampled. They got some fuzz and artifact to it. I love like the digital aliasing that's happening because of that. Like there's a lot that's happening right there that I think is gorgeous. I love what it's doing in this mix. It feels crunchy. It's got texture. Can bro tell us what the song is about? DT said, tell us what the song is about. I don't know if Zayle knows what the song is about, but it's fire. but it gets the people going. Okay, so the one thing I love so much about what your vocal structure is doing. Zayle said something about sunsets, LOL. I'll take it. Something about sunsets, LOL. I'll take it. It sounds great. Here's the one thing. You have a lot of ducking and like pumping happening because of your side chains and because of the 808 that's cutting in that I think to me, I want to hear more of a clean, not clean in processing, but clean in amplitude, a level and amplitude of that vocal over the top. It gets really loud and really dynamic when the 808 isn't in, triggering that compressor. And then that vocal's like way back in the background. And I just kind of wish that on this hook, I kind of just heard, it was still glitchy. I still wanted to pump a little bit. I still want it glitchy. I still want the filters to change. I still want to hear all the automation curves. I think all of that's beautiful. I think that's gorgeous. Don't touch any of that. But what I'm hearing here, loud, way back. And it's just in between each pump of that compressor to the 808 right there. So you're getting a lot of like energy shifts and amplitude shifts between those two elements right there. At the very least, maybe reduce that. Like if you do want a little bit of a side chain or you do want a little bit of pump from the compressor, maybe just like reduce the threshold on the compressor so that it's not 9 dB of difference, so that when the vocal is, because the rest of the beat still goes and that vocal still sits there, and I do want to I still want to hear it. I still want to kind of feel what's going on with the vocal right there. So you could just do it so where it only pumps like 4 dB. You get a little cut from the vocal, you get a little juke, you know what I'm saying, like kind of ducks down for a second, and then it comes back into play. But the whole time it's just a little wave, right? It's just a little notch right there where that vocal cuts underneath and then cuts back in. But you're not like stealing the energy from the vocal and dumping it to the back of the mix. You still get the vibe because it's such a cool vocal. Secret, thank you for the follow. It's such a cool vocal. I obviously don't understand necessarily what they're saying, but the vibe of it, the aesthetic of it, what they're doing and how you're processing it is so intentional and so cool. I think for that to dive into the back of the mix is a little bit of a shame. I would love to hear that as a lead a little bit more consistently. That to me is kind of like the only thing that I really hear in this, outside of you just polishing, right, gluing, the stuff that you just already need to do. That to me is like the one little thing that I wish I got a little bit more of.
Like even right there, in my the redux too, because you're the da da da. When that first kicks in, I want that to be like forward, right? You hear how far back that is? That little pocket right there. Crazy amounts of ducking, crazy amounts of pumping right there. And as soon as that I want that forward. Like I want that right in front of me because I think that's it's a really cool melody structure. It's a cool sample chop. Like what you did to it on the processing side, I think is really nasty. I think it's cool. But as soon as the 808 kicks in, you actually lose all of it. So anyways, that's like one of my things that I feel like would make some small edits to that I think would be really, really cool. Love the double time here. Or comes in a little, maybe here. Like even here, it's still ducking a bit, so you can push it forward. Yeah, I like it. It's a great switch. Yeah, if that vocal doesn't shrink back and get over pumped by the compression right there and over suppressed, I think you're going to be in a great spot, man. This is a really, really cool production structure. It's interesting, it's engaging, it's weird, it's quirky, everything that Zayle's productions always are, and I love everything about it, man. It's really, really cool. Nice little auto pans with the shaker in the background too. Great movement, great stereo activity. I like it, man. I'm ready for it, Zayle. I'm ready for it. You've been doing some cool stuff, Zayle. Y'all, please show some love to the family. That's just Zayle. They're over on the Purple app right now, but show some love to the family. Love and appreciate what you do, Zayle. You're amazing, man. Very, very solid and accomplished producer. Everything that you do is engaging. It's weird. It's interesting, but also done very, very well and executed and promoted at a very high level. You're running it, man. So y'all, please show some love to Zayle. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. Let's keep the music going. Shout out to Zayle one more time. Yeah, if y'all want to submit, we got 4 more tracks left. Nova, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. We got Following Through, Zayle. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. We got 4 more tracks tonight. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through, and follow the details. If you're on the Purple app, type ! Submit in the chat. If you're on the Red app, go to the description for the live stream. And we'll get you moving in the right direction. Keep in mind that the line minimums have updated since we're towards the end of the live right here, and I do want to make sure that everybody is aware of that since we're getting towards the tail end. I don't want you to submit without a chance of being heard. I try to mitigate that as much as possible just so that people aren't disappointed. So if you want to submit, just keep an eye out on the line. You can see how many tracks we have left. You can always see the minimums. You can always see where you sit in the list, so on and so on. Let's get into it. We got Nova in the building. Nova, let me pull it up right here. I got you right here. This is my song Ashes. This is one of the first metal tracks I made when I started producing on my laptop instead of GarageBand on iOS. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, Nova. Let's open this up on Spotify. Playing on web. It always says it's playing on web player Chrome, and I don't even have that. So I don't know if I'm randomly sending this to like our neighbors across the street. I don't know what's going on. Okay. There we go. All right, this is Ashes by Nova. If you have not heard Nova's productions, you are in for a treat, Nova. This is from a year ago. It literally, every time I play on Spotify, it's like playing on Chromecast, something, whatever. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Is someone like, I don't know, someone's stealing our Wi-Fi and I'm just sending it to our, like, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, yeah, it says this, and then I fix it and then it's fine. But I don't know if it's just like one of our other TVs. Like, I don't know, but we don't have Chromecast. Or maybe Chromecast is like built into Samsung TVs. I don't know. Somebody help me. Okay, let's keep moving. Anyways, Nova, if you have any other context, I know. Imagine somebody like this is what's so funny to imagine because it's 9:30 where we are. It's 9:30 where we are. So imagine like we're just like chill, like we're doing our thing over here, and someone's just like watching like HGTV Like they're just like chill. It's some like old, yeah, it's the neighbors with the annoying ass dogs that are yapping at all hours, and they're over there like watching. They're like 90 years old. They're watching HD TVs and they don't take care of their dogs. And then randomly at 9:30 at night, we hit them with this on their Chromecast and just wake them out of their slumber. That'd be so funny if that was what was happening. That'd be so funny. I hope that's what's happening. I hope to God that that is what's happening, that we are just snapping them out of their sleep as they, and then their dogs start barking like crazy and they can't, that'll be so great. Anyways, side note. I'm not trying, I don't wish that on anyone, but it would be very funny to hear that that's what's happening and they come knocking on our door and be like, hey, are you randomly playing like hardcore metal music at 9:30 at night? And be like, sometimes. Okay, this is Ashes. Anyway, side note, this is Ashes by Nova. Just a little fun fact. This song uses the lowest guitar tuning I've used in any song. Whip Tongue, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in today. This like a modern metal gent style song. Okay, got you. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Yeah, Whip Tongue. What we do here, I haven't even explained this for the last couple times because I've just been running through the songs. What we do here, and Coconut, thank you for the follow. What we do here are 20 to 30 minute consultations for artists, producers, musicians, songwriters, vocalists, engineers, so on and so forth. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking down these songs, going through them 2 to 3 different times to really get into the details and the nuances of their production structure, their mix and master, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting. We spend that 30 minutes really getting into the details of the song to hopefully offer them some really detailed, actionable, and personalized feedback on the structure of their music. That's the whole structure of life here. So it's not like popular artists. It's not like request in the chat. These are like long form, detailed consultations where we spend like I said, like usually 25, 30 minutes breaking down the song. We got Noki in the building. What's up, Noki? All right, this is Ashes by Nova. Let's get into it. Hopefully it's just us listening, not the neighbors now. And let's dive in. And this is a year old, so y'all keep that in mind as well. And let me know if there's anything you want me to kind of focus on as well, Nova. Yeah. There's space for a vocal on this one too, Nova. I don't know if you got one on this one. Love that dissonance. Nice. Mastering can literally be as simple as throwing a limiter on there. There's no rules. This is a mix with volume increased. There's Grammys won with that. Don't even worry about it. Guitars are, but I don't think anything else is. You can let me know. Let me know, Nova. This could 100% use some vocals. That would be cool. You could rework this and get a vocalist on it. I can't sing like that, but it'd be cool if I could. It'd be such a vibe if I could. Princess Gaming, welcome in. Yep. Especially clean vocal here. You know what I'm saying? Not that. Don't do that.
I can hear it. I can't do it, but I can hear it. Do it, Leroy. Reach out, man. These people are always looking to collaborate. Killer, man. Nova, right above you. Yeah, you're down tuning. How many strings do you have? Is it a 6-string down tuned to C? Because you said you're tuning lower than you ever have before, and it's a C. So you're probably using a 6 down tune to C, right? Eight-string tune. Oh, 8-string all the way down. Damn. Jeez, man. What's up, Wazy? Welcome in. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Dude, absolutely killer. Y'all show some love. That is Ashes by Nova. We are about to dive into the details. This is older too. So this is before Nova actually gained a lot of like tools and a lot of skills that he's gained in the last year and a half as well. So shout out to Nova as well. Thank you for sending this in, man. It can be vulnerable sending in an older track as well. Caroline, welcome in. Truly, I appreciate you tapping in as well. I just like the sound, like BTS, Artie Young, right? Yeah. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, it's not a request live where people request popular artists. We actually work with like independent and underground artists or people that represent those people and work with the even if you are a more popular artist, people that represent and work with those people to give them tools and tips and help them with the structure of their music. So that's the structure of what we're doing here, where we're listening to like independent artists and underground artists to help them with the structure of their music. Shout out to Nova. Let's run this from the top. And Nova, I'll be somewhat tasteful with the way that we break this down, since I know half the things that I would have mentioned you already know, because we've already broken down more recent records and kind of gotten into more of the details of those, and you've already corrected some of the things that we're going to talk about. But Nova, I don't know if I have heard a song of Nova's with a vocalist yet. I would definitely recommend mixing vocals is a whole other, more so for the fun of it, dude. I love you and I appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing that. So we'll glide through some things that I wouldn't typically, right? Just because I know this is more of a perspective shift. This is a view into the past of what a year and a half ago would it look like to be Nova producing. So I don't want to be like, hey, by the way, 400 hertz is muddy. And we're like, yeah, who gives a shit? Like, we're past that. I don't want to worry too much about that. But I would definitely, Nova, you can gain so much more movement for what you're doing by getting a vocalist on a song. There's another producer that's been in here literally for like the last 3 years that we've been doing this live stream called Chase Samples. Chase Samples is an incredible metal producer, similar genre as kind of what you're doing here. He has some amazing, amazing music. He's a wild guitarist, really, really talented guitarist. He goes live sometimes too. Anyways, he was doing fine on his own. He's fine on his own, but great on his own, but he started working with a vocalist lately, and now he's tapping into that vocalist's fan base and that, the genre fan base. There's a lot of people that only listen to metal and progressive metal and, heavier rock and stuff like that if it has vocalists. Like, they want to hear the song, they want the vocalist, they want to follow the artist's journey and stuff like that. They don't typically just do it instrumentally. There's a lot of people like that. So sometimes, like, getting a vocalist on there can be a superpower in order to like garner a little bit more movement for what you're doing and start tapping into other audience. It's one of the things that I'm working on this year. I'm working on a couple big projects right now. The idea and goal is to bring in a bunch of other vocalists on some of these projects. We'll see how this all pans out, but it's some of it's selfish to be able to like tap into all of these different audiences, all of these different genres and different vocalists and stuff like that. It helps you expand. It helps you with your production structure, helps you improve your mixing skills as well. Joe Allen, thank you for the freestyle. I appreciate you, Joe Allen. I hope you're doing amazing. Thanks for tapping in. I've never had vocals because not good enough equipment. I'm not very confident with a vocal. Don't worry about the equipment. Have them track on their own. Just send them the production. Just send them the production. That's how this guy does it. They're not even in the same city. They're not even in the same range as well. Same realm at all. He just sends the production over. Sends him the production over. Then the vocalist sends him back his track outs and he mixes them in. And the only way, honestly, Nova, for you to get better is for you to do it and/or work with someone else or have the vocal. If the vocal's more confident, maybe have the vocal mix their own vocals. All you have to do is kind of tuck it in. You can kind of work out that relationship. You find the right person. You find someone who you can connect with and y'all can kind of work it out between the two of you. If you don't feel super confident, like if you don't have a great mic, maybe they do. Like most other vocalists are used to tracking their own vocals at home as well, right? So find someone who can track on their own, maybe can even like pre-balance their vocals, pre-mix their vocals, and then send you those. And then you just kind of tuck them into your production, do some mid-side and kind of sneak it in there. And then you'll be ready to go, man. Yeah, but I think it's worth it. You'll expand your audience, you'll expand your influence and your exposure. You'll also expand your skills in writing tracks like this that really, really could use a vocal in there to fill in some of those gaps as well. I've tried once with a vocalist, but the files got corrupt and I couldn't work. Dude, try it again, man. Try it again. Like you have the potential to really expand what you're doing. And it's just fun too. It's fun sometimes as someone who's produced a lot of their life. It's really fun to hear your productions with other vocals on it too. Like I love it. I offered to try mixing his vocals into my song and everything got screwed. Yeah. Try it again, man. There's a lot of people out there and post about it. Like post this production or another production that you're working on. Be like, hey, I'm trying to get, I'm looking for metal vocals. I'm looking for, whatever, you can describe the vocal that you're looking for. Here's my track. Let me know if you want to hop on it. I bet you'll get 10 comments of people like, dude, I'll give it a shot. And then maybe you do an open verse challenge, dude. Do an open verse challenge. And sometimes those are kind of phased out. A lot of people don't do this anymore. I've tried it a couple times and then people, nobody does it or it's just like really shitty or something. And so, but you could try that too, where you could try like, hey, this is my beat. I just wrote this hook or just produced this hook. Let's hear how you sound on it. And then you play the hook in the background and see if some vocals might do it. And then if someone sounds really killer over it, then just reach out to them and see if they'll do it. There's a lot of different ways where you can gain more exposure as a producer that way. But let's run through a couple things here. Not even necessarily correctively, because that's not what I'm looking for, but just kind of in that vein. It's really cool hearing your improvement over time too, Nova. Nasty. I love it, DT. Love and appreciate you, man. Thank you for tapping in today. Hopefully we see you soon, man. Always, 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 man. Like this is just it's craving a vocal, man. Love that almost like portamento. Like I don't know if your action is just so low that it's that smooth or what it is, but like it's a almost portamento style movement right there that I love so much. Or maybe you're doing some of it like digitally, but like Nasty. It's called Ashes by Nova. Ashes by
Nova. Y'all can go, it's on all platforms. You can go stream it right now. This is an older song from them. It's about a year, maybe a year and a half old or something like that. But yeah, this is, it's an older song from them, but they're super talented. They got a bunch of music out too. But yeah, this is called Ashes by Nova. They're right here in the chat. You can say what's up. You can follow them. You already have a way. Again, there's some things that I wouldn't typically blow past here, but we're going to blow past this because I've the particular reason why the song is here. Like there's some things you've improved a ton on. One being your percussion balance too. Like obviously, like right now you're getting a lot of like suppression of your overheads and your cymbals and your kick and stuff like that. And the snare is poof, your snare is slicing through. Saturn's, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Your snare is slicing through. Your snare is 7 dB louder than everything else in your percussion mix. It's fun to just hear how much you've improved in your percussion balance and improved in your mixing as well. Hearing this gives me a good perspective of how much you've grown and improved over the last year and a half as well, which is, I think that's one of the reasons why you sent it in, but it's really, really cool to hear hear your improvements, right? It's a little hollowed out in the middle of the mix, heavy low end, really, really crispy at the top end, and then the snare is filling out everything in the middle. Your balance has improved dramatically in the last year and a half, man. It's really, really cool. Let me skip into this last section here, and then we'll move on to the next one. But thank you so much for sending this in, Nova. Get some vocals, man. Get some vocals. We got a ton of people in the community. Unknown, thank you for the follow. We got a ton of people in the community. There's tons of people on this app, man, that would love to get on your productions. You're talented, man. You would be a producer to be desired when it comes to vocalists that are trying to find producers. There's a lot of great metal vocalists, a lot of great rock vocalists that they can't find a band. They don't have a producer, right? They don't know how to produce themselves. And so when you're able to tap in with someone who already has it down, this is what Chase Samples did. He's like, I found a vocalist who's already got it. And he found me and I had already got it. I already know how to produce everything. And he learned how to mix the vocals in and they just locked in. They locked in step. Now they've made like 2 albums together. So like, I think it's worth it, man. I think it's worth it for you to really lock in and find a couple people that you can grow with, you can improve in, so on and so on. But yeah, man, you've absolutely got the talent. So I know I'm skimming past some things here that aren't even a part of what we would typically break down, but I love what you do, Nova. And I think it's worthwhile for you to get the exposure and the work that you deserve. And you definitely can, man. Like this is so much less separation than a lot of your more recent mixes. Like between all I'm kind of getting here is like doubles, double track with your bass really quick. You're losing all clarity and separation between the bum, 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 bum. Like you're a little more like staccato, like tighter palm muted moments in the, and like your double track lead right there. That's kind of filling in more of the mids. Those get kind of completely lost in the sauce. And that's something I don't hear nearly as much in your newer records, man. So seriously, I'm very, very proud of the work that you've put into improving your skills, man. So fun. Heavy. Killer. Absolutely killer. Y'all show some love. That is Nova right here in the chat. Show some love to Nova. That song is out on all platforms. It's called Ashes by Nova. If you like what you hear, as some of y'all did, as I can see, go show some love to the track. It is out everywhere, so go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go like the track, go follow on Spotify, etc. Go show it some love and support. Go boost their algorithm. Let's keep it moving. Shout out to Nova. Nova, thank you so much for sending this in. I appreciate that a lot. Let's keep it going. We got 3 songs left, y'all. 3 songs left. Exit. Hop in the chat. Exit. It is your time. Exit. Let me know if you're here. Let me know if you are here. right, I don't see exit. James, hop in the chat. James, let me know if you're here. Welcome in, welcome in. If y'all want to submit, go to my profile, ampersand. Thank you for the follow. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. Just check the line over on the other platforms that we're live on first. You can see where we're at. Let me know if James is in the building. Let me know, let me know. That's Aria. Hold on. Is it? What's the song name, Aria? So I can make sure I'm seeing the right thing here. Because I think I have like 3 different names here. Perfect. Okay, I just want to make sure because I think I see Alt 23, I see Aria, I see James. So I just want to make sure. I was like, I'm seeing 3 or 4. I see 3 or 4 different names. I was like, I just got to make sure I'm talking to the right person. Okay, the song is called "Back from the Broken" by Alt 23. No, you're totally good. It gets confusing because sometimes what happens is I'll see a name on like a profile name on here, a different artist name on the email, a different actual name on like the title, and then like a completely different name on like the payment form or something like that. It'll be like all over. Like, hold on, I just gotta make sure I'm talking to the right person. This is "Back from the Broken" by Alt 23. Let me get this downloaded really quick. Let me know some details. I would love some context. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for tapping in today. I would love to get some info on the role that you play in the song. So talk to me about production, talk to me about mix. And just the role that you play in the song that I'm about to hear. This is "Back from the Broken" by Alt 23. Any details are welcome. Let's see. Come on, play the track. There we go. Thank you for the heart meme.
I hit the bottom, cold and hollow, lost my way with no tomorrow.
So it's generated.
Bills were stacked,
So let me know kind of what you want me to get into.
dreams were slacking, tried to stand but kept on cracking. But I found a spark in the darkest part. Yeah, I held it close like a brand new start. I'm back from the broken, back from the fall. Found my
Hold on. I'm gonna back it up here. I'm trying to hear something.
cold and hollow. I hit the bottom, cold and hollow, lost my way with no tomorrow. Bills were stacking, dreams were slacking, tried to stand but kept on cracking. But I found
Lyrics written by me, then mixed with okay, that's what I said. That's what I was hearing. I was like, hold on. I was like, I know I'm hearing. I'm not, and the production too. The production is generated too,
a spark
or at least, or at the very least portions of it. At the very least portions of it.
in the darkest part. Yeah, I held it close like a brand new start. I'm back from the broken, back from the fall. Found my feet when I lost it all. I'm back from the broken, hear my call. Standing up strong, standing up tall. I'm back
Yeah, it's AI.
Friends stop calling. Rain kept falling.
What's up, DBJ? Welcome in. Or DBJT, welcome in.
Keep on crawling, so I face the fear, wiped away the tears, every scar I heard led me right back here. I'm back from
What's up, Nocturne? Welcome in. Refined, thank you for the press start. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the gifts, y'all.
I lost it all. I'm back from the broken here. My call, standing up strong, standing up tall. I'm back from the broken. Stood in the mirror, didn't know the face, but I saw a fighter in that empty place. Took a breath, said, listen, it's your turn to shine. Left the shadows where they were behind. I'm back from the broken.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
From the fall, build my strength from the wrecking wall. I'm back from the broken here.
Hey, you're good, Aiden. No worries at all, man.
If you're down to, I'll lift us all. We're back from the broken.
All right, y'all, show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is Back from the Broken by, I think the artist's name is Alt23, I believe. Yeah, I have time for, I think the other people weren't here, I'm not positive, but I have time for maybe like two more songs, maybe one or two more songs after this. In fact, I'm going to close it here in a second. One or two more songs. Let me clear James off of here. Beautiful. So if you do want to submit, you still can go to my profile, click on the link, read through the steps. We'll get you up on the board. Just please check the line first on the other platforms that we're live on, which you can also check at the link as well. That way you can kind of see where things are at since we're towards the very end of the live right now. IPNX, thank you for the follow. Okay, so this is all AI. This is all generated music. So what Alt23 said is that they this obviously this is typical of when we're hearing AI. 99% of people say the same thing in this part of the structure, where they wrote the lyrics and then they generated the production and the vocal itself. So you can tell. That's why literally within 6 seconds of hearing it, I stopped it. I was like, oh, yeah, this is generated. So let's talk through kind of a little bit of that. Let me know, because you can hear all the same thing. It's like auto-tuned guitars. It's perfectly quantized. It's massive aliasing and the high frequency, difficulty in processing high frequency over the vocal. It's fuzzy blending of instrumentation in the background, stuff like that, right? Nothing wrong with that. But what I want to know, this is always what I want to know with AI, is how can I be of service to you? How can I help you? Because that's what this live is all about. That's what Track Talk is all about. That's what we've been doing for the last 2.5 hours on the live stream, and have been doing this over the last 3 years. I want to help. I want to be valuable. I want to make sure that what we talk about here and the time that we choose to spend on here is valuable and it's helpful, and that I can be of service to you in some way. So let me know how I can do that for you, being that this is generated. Let me know if whether that's lyric structure, whether that's whatever it may be. Let me know how I can help you, because that's what this live is all about. It's not a vibe check. It's not a quick it's not a click. This is cool or not. Stuff like that. So I want to know how I can help you. I want to know what you think would be valuable to talk about in this structure of breaking down this music. So let me know that really quick. Alt23, the band, which I think is James in here, or maybe it might be a different name here. Yeah, let me know. That way I can do my best to help you out as well. Daddy Crab, welcome in.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If you do want to submit, everything's at my profile. Everything's in the same order there. So go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through the steps there. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ellie's in the building. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. And then Meera. Dr. Nopes is in the building. What's up, Dr. Nopes? Okay, that's up to you. That's up to you. And then we can, if you want me to just move to Meera, we can move to Meera. Let me know. Let me know. I can move straight to Meera. Meera, I just saw you in the chat, so let me know if you're here. Yeah, feel free to send an email, and I can let you know how maybe I can point you in the right direction, how we can help like facilitate growing your records and working with certain people and growing in your own craft as a writer or working with musicians, stuff like that. I'd be happy to work that out with you. Okay, if that sounds good to you. That's because obviously, typically, as you've heard, for the last little while, I'm typically like diving into the mix, but there's no mix to dive into. So I always want to know how I can help you. There's no specific, make sure your guitars, and there's none of that stuff. So I want to make sure that I can help you, make sure that I can be of service to you. So let's go and move to Meera, and then I'll look for that offline as well. Okay, let's get into Meera's record here. Let me pull this up as well. Yep, of course. I got you. Thank you so much for the submission, though. I really appreciate that. Yeah, any way that I can support you and help you in facilitating your records, I'd love to. Okay, we got Meera in the building. I believe we're going to close it up here, unless we get another one in. Okay, let me see. Okay, Meera, let's get into it. Here is my voice memo within. Would love some guidance on the next steps I should take and stuff on melody. Perfect. Okay, let me get this here. I just realized you asked for a link, so here's the link. Oh yeah, I could take the link in there. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to freestyle, and that's to the benefit of everybody. Nobody wants that. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I can pull up the file, and that's perfect. Perfectly fine. All right, so this is just so everybody is aware. We're about to listen to a voice memo, and this happens all the time. I love it. This happens all the time. People send in early demos. They send in voice memos. I've literally had someone who sent in a voice memo of them humming in a Starbucks booth a specific melody and asked if we could help them build a progression over it and play piano over it to see what would be a good progression to fit over the structure of their song. So we do this all the time, so I'm excited to hear this, but just keep in mind that this is an early record. So Meera, I would love all the details. So you sent a little bit of context in the email. I would love some details on what you do, what this is, what your goal is, because that to me dictates like what you're wanting to do, what you're wanting help with, what would be valuable for you, and maybe like what you're trying to get out of music, what you're pursuing, what you're wanting to do. Let me know. Drop some stuff in the chat, and I'm excited to get into it. So we're about to listen to this voice memo. This is called Within by Meera, who's right here. They're over on TikTok. So let's get into it.
Pretend I never existed. Pretend I'm down on
Very cool.
all
Very cool.
fours,
I love that.
begging you to acknowledge who I was to you before. Erase the glances exchanged.
Great voice.
Act like I'm insane. Do it again.
Really nice voice.
It won't make you a better man. In this story you are creating, I'm brief and I'm short. I'm psychotic and I'm crazy for being destroyed. In this story, you are the victim. You're just less of a villain than before.
nice writing too.
Words would escape your lips. Fuck the stars.
It's over on the other platforms that we're live on, so you can find them at my link.
Bring back
The red app and purple app.
I miss. If I could change, I would flip. If you could be silent again, repent my name, revoke your sin, suck out the poison from within.
Let's go. Y'all show some love to Meera in the chat. Show some love to Meera in the chat. Meera, I love your vocal. Love your vocal. Great tone, great natural vibrato. All one takes was kind of muffly and guitar was silly, but no, I love it. I love it. I can read through the lines, right? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. I can read through a lot of the stuff that you have here and the texture that you have here. I love this so much. I think you have a great voice. You have great structure, great natural vibrato as well. And I really like your songwriting as well. You're a great storyteller. And I think that your emotion really cuts through when you're singing. So this to me, I'm going to read over here. Next steps I should take and stuff on melody. Okay. Yeah. Let's get into some of the details here. I'm excited to break this down. For me, what I would love is clarity and variation of progression. So that's kind of the foundational stuff. So like right now you're playing this over B flat to C. And again, I don't mean any of this to like pick apart guitar playing. That's not what I'm intending at all. But when we're talking about clarity, it's how do we build from here, right? So how do we kind of distinguish this structure? How do we open this up a little bit and give this a little bit better separation and clarity so you can start to build actual guitar tracking, actual, other layers maybe. I could hear some, maybe a cello in the background. I could hear a piano that's kind of building chords with you, some layers to your vocal, some harmonies. That all is going to come into play with a good foundation for your progression. So I could hear, and I'll play you some things so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. I think it would be really, really nice to start to build that foundation. I'm here from Jessica Lynn. Welcome over. I hear from TikTok. There's one left me. There's one spot left. Yeah, I have time for one more song. Right now I've got one more on the board. I'm not positive if they're there, but I can listen to at max one more song. If they're not here or there's no other submissions, then I'll close out and we'll hop back on live again tomorrow after I'm done with my projects for the day. Okay, so let's get back into it. Once again, this is Back from the Broken by Meera, who's right here in the chat on TikTok. So Meera, as we go through things, let me know if you have any questions, if you need clarity on anything, or if there's any other way that I can help facilitate this for you and give you some support as well. But let's get it. Wait, no, not Back from the... What am I talking about? That's the wrong song. Hold on. Within. I was like, wait, hold on. That's a metal track. My bad. Rewind. Sounds good. I appreciate you tapping in. All right. But yeah, keep in line. This is the line over here. These are where you can see where the minimum is at right here. You can see the tracks that we have left. So if exit doesn't come in, then we can close out with yours as well. All right. This is Within. I was like, wait, that's the wrong track.
Pretend I never existed. Pretend I'm down on all fours.
So where I would love clarity right here, what I would love clarity right here is actually a lot of your like root notes, right? So you have this B flat right here. Pretend I never existed. And then what's happening is this low chord that you have right here. Oops, there we go. This low chord right here, you move to a different chord with some of the higher notes. So you're probably like sliding up an open chord, and then the low strings are still playing, right? So you still get all of this down here. And again, this is not about the guitar playing. It's about building chord structure. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. As you start here, and then you're guitar moves, right? Your chord moves, but all these open strings are still playing. So then the progression starts to sound a little muddy, right? And again, less about the guitar playing itself in the voice memo and more about how do we build like a clean progression here. What I would love to hear is a clear, in this case, it would be a B flat to C major. This is super easy. That I never existed. Da, 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 da. Like that gives you a little bit of clarity in that progression so that it feels a little bit more established. And then with it being really solid and really clear, you can start to build some other fun lyrics or fun layers and other melodies and stuff like that that will make the sound, I think, really interesting and really dynamic, even if it's very simple, even if it's like acoustic guitar, piano, cello, or even just acoustic guitar and piano or something like that. Let me start it from the top really quick. And DBJT, I got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me get you up in the line really quick, and then we'll, you're going to close this out today. What? Suspended again? What is going on? Why is it doing this? Is not only with our policies, gifting is suspended for Chess Hero. Thank you for the follow. Reason limited interaction. What do you mean limited interaction? People are literally no on TikTok. Limited interaction. Yes, TikTok. Limited interaction. What do you mean? People are literally I don't know. It's just glitchy. It's so glitchy lately. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's so annoying. Yeah, at least it's end of the live. TikTok has been so glitchy lately. Give me a second. I'm going to try to appeal it. Yeah, I just have to shoot a quick appeal. And they never do it. They never follow it. But it just, you can tell when it like limits me from the For You page and stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm not even doing anything. And they're saying no interaction where I'm like, I'm literally constantly interacting and talking and people are in the chat and I don't know, so weird. That isn't clear. I know, it's driving me fucking nuts. It's driving me up a fucking wall. Okay, sorry, Meera, we're back. We're focused. Excuse me. Gosh, I don't know why TikTok is so glitchy. If it's giving you issues, then feel free to stay up on the other platforms. Rarely have issues, so you can try to submit over there. Give me 2 seconds. Let me get I think it's DBJT. Let me get you up there. I appreciate you so much. You're going to close us out today. Okay. Let's get into it. So first thing that I would love is clarity of progression, and then we'll talk about variation of progression later. And sorry, I think they commented earlier, so I just want to see. Love some strings. Same. All right.
Existed.
Here.
Pretend I'm down on all fours, begging you to
Just even that like clarity with your melody.
who I was to you before. Erase the glances exchanged.
And then you could have like if we're talking about variation, I'm going to throw some stuff out. And also quick reminder, because it can get confusing as we talk about a billion things here. I tend to go into a lot of random details and that can be confusing. So just a quick reminder that every single one of these live streams are saved to the Red app, YT. Every single one of these VODs are recorded and they're saved to that. I have a playlist on there called Track Talk Live Stream. This will be like episode 63 or whatever on there. So as soon as the live is over or any time that you want to, you can literally always go back and reference what we talked about and go back and look through things. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, this 1200 hertz here and this random little thing here. Let's talk about mid-side processing. And if you're not taking notes or screen recording, it can be annoying. And it could just be like a lot of info. I want to always go into that lot of info. So it's really hopefully helpful and valuable. But I get how it's confusing. So if you ever need to go back and reference some of the stuff that we're talking about, just go to the YouTube channel and you can go to the playlist there, and then everything will be saved. Just because sometimes it can be annoying to take notes and try to screen record, and TikTok can be glitchy and whatever. Okay, so another thing that you can do would be change progression halfway through. Just if we're talking about like making this a little bit more interesting to listen to, even if you do the exact same things with your vocal. So your lead melody, let's back this up just a little bit. We'll chop through a couple little things here. And this is, I think, how you can start to like build out your production and start to build out some of your layers and make it feel a little bit more engaging to listen to. So, because again, to go, full circle, go back again, your voice is amazing. And I think your songwriting is really good. There's so much that I love about this. And so I hopefully this gives you a little bit to work with.
Begging you to ignore
So good melodies, good repetition.
who I was to you before.
So you have this da 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 da. That's like your main melody right there for this early part. So you're kind of starting here. Da 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 da. Like you have a good repetition there, good pattern. Da 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 da. So what would be nice is after you do that twice, it could be nice to shift the melody to a different, like in this case, I'm going to do what you call like a 2 minor. It's going to the G minor. Da, 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 da. Just a changing chord. Da, 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 da. Like even just changing the chord once or twice in there. And even if you go back to the other progression again, switching it for a moment just shifts the energy for a second. And it makes, especially again, add in when, like just, for the sake of, thinking about it, if when you go here, in this case, that's a G minor. If when you go to the G minor, you also add in like a low G on a cello or like a upright bass or something like that, all of a sudden the mix kind of wakes up. And it's like all of a sudden, like, that little break from the pattern recognition, that little break from the cycle that we're in, which is a great cycle to start with, that little shift in the, changing lanes for a second there, your brain kind of just goes, just kind of wakes up. It perks up a little bit. So I do think even just tastefully and subtly and simply, you can wake it up in really small, subtle ways to kind of keep, pulling people forward and giving them some new information without this being, Jess, thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot. Without this becoming a pop record, right? Like it doesn't seem to me, tell me if it's just wrong, I'm hearing a voice memo, obviously, that you're wanting to produce a big, massive sounding pop record, at least in this particular song. At least based on what I'm hearing, you want to be a little bit more indie folk, maybe a little bit more alternative and indie in that space. Now, if you do want to produce a pop record, that's a different conversation, like a full pop record, that's a different conversation. But based on your songwriting, based on the way, yep, okay, 100%. I was like, that's the vibe. Even the way that you're writing, the way that you're playing, that doesn't tell me that this is supposed to be like a Chaperone song or something like that. So that being said, I think it is completely valid to keep this production very simple and very clean with small, subtle changes in progression and small, subtle changes in dynamics, right? So you have like one little change here, but then we go back to comfortable. You want this to be easy to listen to. We change it for a second. We go up here. We go there for a moment, and then we go straight back to back here. And you just kind of walk back and forth between those two progressions, right? Or something similar. Let me listen a little bit farther. We'll get into like what's like your hook and your verse here a little bit. But even just those small, subtle changes make a big difference in how a song feels and then just kind of keeps people engaged.
Erase the glances exchanged. Act like I'm insane.
Great voice, really good voice.
Do it again. It won't make you a better man.
Love. That vibrato is so good. And the bit better man. Right? It's killer. So good.
In this story you are creating.
So is this okay, so I'm hearing since the progression is the same all the way through, the angel singing is Meera. A couple chats above, you'll see is it Meera? I can't see the name now. It just removed. It went away from my screen. But Meera, a couple chats above you. Thank you for the follow, Carrie. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, my first time hearing Meera, pinned right there. There's Meera, oh, and also right there. You can find her everywhere. My first time hearing Meera, but yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing vocal. I love it. Since the progression is the same all the way, is this I'm kind of listening for your dynamic with your vocal to kind of distinguish where your hook is, right? So we can start to separate this a little bit, right? I'm kind of assuming that this part like in the done you created, is that the hook or is it still a verse? Let me know. Just because of the way you're playing and singing sounds a little bit separate.
In this story you're creating, I'm brief and I'm short. I'm psychotic and I'm crazy for being destroyed. In this story you're the victim.
Like, and yeah, with the energy that you're singing right there, that to me feels kind of like a hook, right? It's a bit more driven. Like, but I'm not really sure if it's just another verse or what. Okay, so here would be my suggestion. Where, and this is to a verse or what, to lead into the chorus. Actually, let me listen a little bit farther first, and then I'll dissect this a little bit. Because I hear all the time. Let's run it. Yeah, coming up next. What was I gonna say? I hear all of the time really, really amazing vocalists, songwriters, producers, musicians, like people that are amazing at what they do, that where things fall apart or fall off is structure, where you have amazing, amazing vocal, doing too much of the same thing, and even that amazing thing happening for too long. Thank you for the heart me, Deb. I appreciate you. That amazing thing happening for too long becomes monotonous, right? The coolest, hardest hitting beat with a crazy 808 doing the same thing for too long. Your pattern recognition kicks in, your adaptations to the same thing happening over and over kicks in, and you start to zone it out. In the same way that your eyes like block out your nose because it just always is right there, right? Like funny things like that. In the same way as like if something is kind of looped for too long, you start hearing the exact same looped trap beat, the exact same looped synth, the exact same like melody that kind of does its same thing over and over again. If that happens for too long, even with the most amazing sounding vocal and cool lyrics, the brain will kind of slowly tune it out. Thank you for the follow. It'll slowly tune it out and it'll lose its impact over time. And I would hate for that to happen. That's one of the things that I think is like a big pain point for a lot of people is they're really good at what they do. And there's like one missing piece that kind of pulls people away from it, right? So you might start the song and people are like, oh my gosh, I love her vocal. But then, 2 minutes into a 3.5 minute song, 90 seconds into a 4 minute song, 3.5, 4 minute song, and people have tuned out. And all of a sudden they don't even realize that they're not even really listening to the song anymore. And they're not hearing your message anymore. They're not hearing what you're saying. That's what I don't want to happen. So I want to find some ways within the song that we can make sure that that doesn't happen. Like the progression changes, layer changes, also melodic changes that we can do very tastefully and very simply to make sure that people stay locked into what you're doing. And it could be the most subtle little breaks from those patterns that can really help do that. So let me hear this next section, but that's kind of what I'm listening for.
You're just less of a villain than before, and I'm a bad sport.
Because so far, again, already said, amazing voice. Love the lyrics, love a lot of the texture of your vocal. So far, we're 90 seconds in over the exact same chord and exact same melody. We're in that same structure for 90 seconds so far, and I think it continues a little bit past that. That's where people will start to slowly check out, and you're too good to let that happen. So I want to make sure we have some of those twists and turns to address that. So here's now we're kind of into a hook. So we need some changes previous to this in the progression of melody so that people actually get here. Because this, now I'm hearing the da, 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 da. We have a great new introduction of energy from that vocal. And that to me is like, oh, beautiful. Like it's such a, like I said, we're 90 seconds in. we're locked into those first melodies. This is such an incredibly dynamic shift in energy. And so right here, I'm like, oh, we made it. Like we finally have this moment. This probably, in my opinion, needs to happen like 40 seconds earlier, and or have a couple other twists and turns that lead us here. Again, even if this is an acoustic record.
And pretend I didn't cry way back when a summer's late, shortened and thinned. Take my
And y'all, actually, really quick, nobody else submit. I'm going to close the line. DBJT, thank you. You're so helpful. I really appreciate it a lot, but we're closing with you. I do need to close the line. Line is closed. Let me close it over here. Sorry. Y'all reminded me. I forgot we only had one track left. My bad. My brain's all over today. It always is. I say today every day of my life. Okay. Let me see. Noki, welcome in. All right. Now we're better. Okay. No, this melody's beautiful. I love this.
place, delete the pen, forget the nights that I
Love that break in your vocal too, and the da da da. That break in your vocal at the top is awesome. Again, vocal, awesome. 11 out of 10. Love it.
spent, praying words would escape your lips.
Great lyrics.
Fuck the stars that I wished. Bring back
Like a very marketable, very, very good vocal. Like there's structure for the vocals here. I'm a huge fan of. We're gonna back it up in a second. We'll talk about progression.
the glow I miss. If I could change.
Okay, so now we're back. If I could change, da, 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 da. We're back to that verse now, right? So for me, the biggest thing that needs to happen here is progression change. I think this is all personal, stylistic preference, right? This is just the way that my brain works. If you don't feel or connect with what I'm saying, feel free to completely ignore it. Because these are personal, creative decisions that I want you to make. If I can get your wheel spinning, or you just take half of what I'm saying, go for it. This is just to kind of hopefully help you, get some ideas of your own, or to maybe attach to some of the things that I'm saying. For this hook, so I actually really like da, 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 da. Like this hook, I think works really, really well over that progression that you have. I think it's really, really nice. So being that this feels so good,
You can lie
love this.
and pretend I didn't cry.
Maybe one.
Way back when a summer's late,
I love this.
shortened and thinned. Take my place, delete the pen, forget the nights.
Like that progression works really, really well. And you could have some changes. It doesn't have to be the same. So like maybe the first one is da na na da na da da na na da da. Maybe it stays. Maybe da na na da 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 na na to the minor da 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 da. Like you could have some other small changes in there. Going to the minor helps a little bit, so it's not the same every single time. Being that I like this progression so much for the hook and it works really well, which is you're essentially an octave above. It's a pretty close melody, but you're just kind of an octave higher. Having like this to this and then this helps shift it just a little bit. Small change, big impact. Being that I like this so much, I feel like we should probably change the chords to the verse. Otherwise, it's too much repetition and it'll just get monotonous. And like I said earlier, that's going to be the killer of the song is monotony. And by monotony, I don't mean like it's like boring and terrible sounding. I just mean quite literally monotone, one tone, one note. And so that's what I want to get away from. So when I say monotonous, I don't mean like you're boring at what you're doing. I just mean like it can quite literally just be one note and one taste. And I want it to have texture and some movement. So being that this hook sounds so good over that progression with the higher range of your vocal, I would shift the verse. I would shift the verse a little bit. So your verse is here. Let me go back here.
On all fours, begging you.
So one thing that you could do, there's a way that you can kind of reharmonize this, if you will. I am doing one more song, but it's a different artist. We're going to close up with one more song at the very end here. DBJT is going to close us out today. But we will be live again tomorrow afternoon, so make sure y'all are following. We'll open up the lines again. I'll take on like another 8 to 10 songs probably tomorrow afternoon. It's usually, I would say, between 2 and 3 p.m. So tap in around the time. I'm Central Time, 2 or 3 p.m. Central. Tap in, and we'll open up the lines again, and we'll bring some new artists onto the board as well. So with reharmonizing this a little bit, you can kind of take the melody that you have right here and put it under different chords, and it'll change the feel a little bit. So one example would be starting in the minor and then going to the C and then to the F. It's going to make it feel a little darker and then a little happier towards the end. So your melody would be da, 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 and again, through this, I'm not saying you have to do that or that melody, but just as an idea to kind of base it off the melody that you have that still fits somehow, still works a little bit. You might end up wanting to change some of these melodies a little bit to make sure that it has some other small changes. And then you'll eventually... You can go to the hook. And it feels special. It feels like it just lives in its own space, not like it's too much of the same thing happening and then it just happens again, but at a higher octave. It feels like separate. Where or no, you don't even have to do that. You could even to do half of your progression. Again, I'm going to throw some ideas out there randomly, but you could start here. This is original progression. As a lead in, and then and it feels very separate, right? In energy and progression. Push to the minor. It's largely the same thing that you're doing. We're just shifting it. So we're doing different progression, half of your progression, and marrying the two, then doing a lead in, and then on the hook, just doing your original progression at a minor. So although this sounds pretty dramatically different from what you first were doing, the impact of like two different chords being in there, like starting on the D minor and then going back to your progression, and then adding in the D minor on the hook, it's like two chord changes based on your progression and melodies already that like dramatically changes the feel of the song, right? And changes like dynamic, and the piano sounds different too, but it really changes the way things feel. So that's what I would look at. That's what I would kind of revisit in your mind is like, okay, I have this great song. I have these great lyrics. You already know your vocal. How can I now like take this and like mold it and put it into something that feels like interesting and creative, still true to your song. I don't want to change that. Still true to your song, but a bit more palatable by an audience, you know, like something that's going to make a little bit more sense as a structure. And the biggest thing that I'm looking for is separation. Yep. I want a little bit more of a journey. I want this to feel like a verse and then a hook. You know, the verse, you don't want it to feel too run on. You don't want it to be like a run on sentence. You want it to feel compartmentalized, have some small changes in it, changes in your melody just slightly, but you have a little bit of in there. And then a hook that feels like a hook. The hook feeling like a hook is going to allow you to build out production that feels really engaging and really interesting. It's going to allow you to, do I have a cello on here right now? I think I do. Hold on. Let me see. I think I do. Let me see. I do. It'll allow you to like, come on, cello. I love cello. I'm going to switch to this just for an idea. just for an idea, I'm going to play over your progression. So it's going to sound a little muddy because the progressions aren't going to match. I'm going to play some other strings with the progression I'm thinking of over your progression. Again, that's going to sound kind of shitty. It's not going to sound very good, but to give you kind of an idea of what I'm imagining when it comes to like, when you separate this hook a little bit more, it will give you more power and more impact, because when you switch, it'll matter so much more. When you jump that octave and you push a little bit higher, it'll matter so much more that you get there, because there's like a progression and production to support that change, and it'll matter so much more to like the listener will feel so much more emotion because of it, because you haven't like tired out their ears with something else. They haven't adapted as much early on to where they're like a little bit tired before they get to that point. They'll be a little bit sharper because their ears are a little bit more perked up. So let me get what's up, Five-O? Welcome in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that. I promise to do my best. Let me get it up here. This is some of my talking about song structure and songwriting and stuff like that is some of my favorite stuff. Okay, so like here's some like I'm gonna play your song again. It's gonna weed through the mud with what you're about to hear. So much, dude. I love strings so much. Okay, let's play some strings over what we're talking about here on the hook. And again, super muddy, but we'll weed through it.
In this story, the sport, you can lie and pretend I didn't cry way back when a summer's late.
Verse empty, just acoustic for a second.
If you could be silent again.
Or we move to here.
Repent my name, revoke your sin, suck out the poison from within.
Like the dynamic change, for me at least, just in my own experience of your song and your lyrics, when I experience your lyrics with the support of that progression change, in this case being the D minor, the only thing that I'm changing is the D minor. So hold on. Oh, that's the wrong one. Give me a sec. The only change is the D minor for the half section. That little D minor in there. Dude, like, so that under the acoustic, something similar, even if it's not a full strings, it's just like a cello or something like that. Even just like one cello underneath there with like upright bass that comes in with your acoustic guitar following that same progression in your vocal with some like beautiful background vocal layers. They're like stacked with harmonies, and then that lead vocal down the middle. That energy to me is like breathtaking. You know what I mean? Like it's like so beautiful. That's a movie track. You know, that's a late night drive or sobbing in the car track. And so that's why to me it matters so much that you leave space for breaking stuff, leave space for that to happen in the song by small changes in the progression, small changes in dynamics. And then of course, compartmentalizing the verse a little bit more. Because what I love about it is emptying all this out and then coming just back to your verse, and it's just an acoustic guitar. Super easy. Okay, so last thing I'll say, I gotta move on. I'm ranting too much. I gotta move on. Last thing I want to say from a song structure standpoint, hopefully some of that helps a little bit, makes a little bit of sense. I know I can tend to talk in circles and rant a little bit, but I hope it's helpful. Last thing I'll say, from a song structure standpoint, basically what you have right now is a 90-second to 100-second verse from right off the start, 90-second to 100-second verse, essentially. And then like a 30-second chorus with this, this little higher, hold on, I mean this part here. I gotta go back real quick. Yeah, that part there. That little section right there. So you have like a 30-second hook, then back down to kind of another verse, and that's it. What I would love to hear in this song, structurally speaking, is maybe, I don't know how this would work with your lyrics. You might have to dissect this a little bit and figure it out. I want that hook again. I want that hook again so bad. That lead mode, that lead hook is so good. Your vocal is so beautiful in that range. I don't want to miss out on that one more time. What I would probably do if I were trying to structure this with you is you might need to take 30 seconds of those for that first verse that you have there that runs on a little bit long and put it in a second verse and then do another hook, maybe a double hook after that, and like a bridge and a hook. Like right now, it's a really, really, really long verse. It's like kind of 2 or 3 verses, honestly. Like you have at least like 2 verses back to back, then a big hook right there, and then a verse to kind of close it out. But we never get that repetition again. We never get that high melody again. And to me, that's a shame because it's such a beautiful part of the song. It helps you change the progression again. It helps you change the dynamics again. If you don't do that, then you basically have like a 3.5-minute song here, and at least in this memo, you have a 3.5-minute song with only 30 seconds of vocal register change. You know what I mean? 20 to 30 seconds of vocal register change. So 3 minutes of, 2 minutes and 50 seconds of this whole song is the exact same melody, exact same chords, and then nothing that kind of pulls you away from that. So what I would do is separate that a little bit. Have your first 45 seconds. That's your first verse. And maybe it's 16 measures for your first verse. Like try to cap it at around that potentially. 16 measures for your first verse. Then you do a nice little build up to one of those choruses right there. Do another 16 measures of a second verse. Do another build up to that high register right there. Then maybe you do like a low part and then like one more hook at the end. And then that's your song. And you're at like 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And it's a beautiful indie folk singer-songwriter ballad that's really cohesive, but it still has dynamics, has chord changes, has really good lyrics, and a great vocalist. So that's kind of the way that I would compartmentalize it. But y'all, please show some love to Meera. Meera, thank you so much for sending this in. I appreciate you a lot. This is some of my I tend to rant on this stuff a lot. Just because I really like talking about song structure and talking about formatting and lyrics and stuff like that is really fun for me. So I apologize if I'm a little long worded with talking about it. Thank you so much for tapping in. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I love the strings. It's hard to go wrong with strings. It's hard to go wrong with strings. I would probably do them a little more subtly than that. That's a little bit powerful. I still want this to feel vulnerable and subtle and intimate. I don't want it to feel like it doesn't have to be like a Hans Zimmer record. Although it could be and it would be great. But anyways, y'all show some up to Meera. Meera, love and appreciate what you do so much. Thank you so much for sending that in. Let me go over here and then we're going to close it up. Let me switch over here. Hey, you as well, Meera. I appreciate you so much. Okay, really quick. Where's the track here? All right, DBJT, hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. Let me know which platform you're on really quick, and we're going to close it up right here. All right, this is DBJT Mud Flood, and we got the song on Spotify right here. Beautiful, right in the chat, ready to go. I mean, that's stuck in my head. It's a very catchy melody. It is stuck in my head. It's playing on web player again. Hold on. All right, this is Mud Flood by DBJT. DBJT, I don't think I see anything else in the email here, just for reference. So let me see. Yeah, Tell me all the, I don't think I've heard your music before, or let me know if I have. If I have heard your music before, please let me know. I just see a lot of names and I might get confused. If I have not heard your music before, then talk me through the details. Give me context. Talk me through the production structure, mix structure, the role that you played in the song. Did you download music? Did you produce it yourself? Did you go to a studio? Are you mixing this yourself? Let me know. But let's get into it. I'm excited to dive in.
Morality, but slogans knocking door to door. Propaganda spoken. Will you let this stand or take your neighbor's hand? Justice comes by demand. Standing up to face leaders in disgrace. When corruption flows like
Nice. Awesome. Very cool.
everything is fake, always on the take, pouring out the divine. Standing up to face leaders in disgrace. When corruption flows like wide. Who serves the consequence to the blood?
Very cool. Awesome.
Here come the consequences.
Yeah, there are some really cool harmonies in there. I like that rasp at the end there too.
Standing up to face leaders in disgrace. When corruption flows unwind. Who serves the consequence to the blood?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. I'll try to move a little bit more concisely through this one. Y'all show some love. That is DBJT. The song is called Mud Flood. Let's dive straight into it. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some of the details here. Production structure, melody, vocal structure, stuff like that. I'm excited to dive into this. Thank you so much for sending this in. This is going to close us out today. Fievel, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate you a lot. This is going to close us out. So if you do want to submit, if y'all are, we've had a bunch of people wanting to submit, definitely make sure that you're following. We'll open up the lines again tomorrow. You probably around 2 or 3 p.m. Central Time. But this is Mud Flood by DBJT. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it.
Morality, but slogans knocking.
Production sounds really, really clean. Is that what your husband does for a living? Production structure sounds really, really clean. Great musicianship, great programming across the board. Yeah, that sounds really, really nice. Very, very nicely done. Like good double tracks. Self-taught from YouTube. Let's go. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Yeah, there's some really really powerful elements in this production that sound really great.
Morality, but slogans knocking.
Like that's a good double track guitar right there. That sounds nice. Positioned well.
Door, propaganda spoken. Will you let this stand or take your neighbor's hand? Justice comes by demand. Standing up to face leaders in disgrace. When corruption flows unwind. Who serves the consequence to the flood?
I'm going to chop through a couple things here because I'm listening for some melody and some structure, some repetition here. So it's going to sound chaotic, but I'm going to jump around a couple sections here.
Every single day, unprecedented
University.
Standing up to face leaders in disgrace when corruption flows under.
That double right there. So, okay, so one of the things that I'm listening for, we'll talk about it a couple different times. This da-da-da-da-da, beautiful melody change. Love that so much. That's this little pocket right here might be my favorite part of the whole song. This little melody right here, da-da-da-da, bum 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 bum. That's so good. That this little pocket of like 10 seconds right here, it happens a couple times in the song. Chef's kiss, beautiful. I love it. I would love for that vocal each time to be supported by the double. You get so much more energy out of the production. Bum, 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 bum. That over that minor, it really, really works. There's a lot of power. I would love for it to be supported by, you bring in a double right here at the end, so much more energy out of the vocal and so much more support for the vocal in the mix. It can just like compete better. There's so much energy in the production. Again, like doubled acoustics. You have a double track electric. You got, massive mix on the drums. Is there another? Let's see. Is it
Leaders in disgrace.
another lead guitar? Like there's a heavy bass. There's a lot going on. So a solo vocal on a big moment like this, unless it's a really, really powerful lead vocal, this is kind of depends on how you're singing, the register that you're singing in, so on and so on. Unless it's a really like powerful, like fried vocal or a high mixed voice, it can be really difficult for that vocal to compete in the rest of the mix, right? It'll just feel weaker than the other elements if it doesn't have the support. So I do think it would be beneficial in a moment like this, on this record or a future record, obviously, because this one's out, on a future record, to make sure that if your vocal is alone in the mix, either one of two things it needs to be supported. It needs to have layers. It needs to have a double on it right next to it, a double right next to that vocal that's giving it some support in the mix, and or that lead vocal needs to be a really strong example of that vocal, right? Whether that's like supported with like a little bit of fry or a scream, whether it's a higher mixed voice. I think if the vocal is almost like too clean and too clear against a lot of energy, then it won't feel as supported in the mix. And it'll actually feel a little bit weaker in the background. Musical Nugget, welcome in, and thank you for the heartbeat. I appreciate you so much. So I want to make sure that when those moments happen, we have a lot of energy in the production structure, that lead vocal has some support. Because I think if it does, you'll feel more of the angst. You'll feel more of the tension of that vocal. Nick, thank you for the lightning bolt. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for that. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Okay, let's get a little deeper. So that's why I want to chop around a couple elements, because those to me are really important.
Here, here come the consequences.
Love, like the harmonies right here are really nice. That third note harmony is amazing. Thank you for the Go Popular. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that.
For all you've done.
So same thing kind of here. Again, I'm going to talk about like some nuanced little details in the background here. So you're pushing dynamics vocally here to the top, right? When you're pushing to what is going to end up, you build up. The rasp that comes at the end there, amazing, amazing, amazing. Love that so much. That texture is a little bit more of what I'm looking for. What happens here is we build tension in the production. We move to a tom groove. Boom, dum, 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 dum. The movement right there, I think, is fantastic. It's a great dynamic shift. The vocal moves to a high falsetto, right? So I'm going to back it up here. So we're moving into kind of like the highest tension part of the song, and then kind of the same thing we were talking about earlier. These are all different versions of the same thing that I'm talking about. That would be something I would look for in like executive producing this, right? And trying to squeeze the most out of the song and get the most connection and the most energy out of it. So we're going into some of the highest tension parts of the song, where here is this long, like kind of, it's a long kind of held out build up of the song right here. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of anticipation early on. It's a really high dynamic moment. And we move to a solo vocal where you lose a little bit of the steam. You lose a little bit of the support. Same thing here. When you're hitting kind of the climactic higher note of the song, where there's a lot of tension in the production, we move to a falsetto. And then the falsetto, just by default of register, you're losing some diaphragmatic support. You're losing a little bit like energy behind the vocal. Now it does have layers here and that helps. The layers do help, and you end it with a little bit of rasp and a little bit of fry. That helps as well. But moving to the falsetto right here where there's a lot of tension, I think you actually lose a little bit of the energy of the vocal just based on how much like control you have over it, right? I would love in this moment to at the very least support it by maybe let me hear it again. If it is supported, let me hear it. Because it's just softer sounding, right? And it's a great falsetto. So none of this is any negative aspect of the vocal itself. It's a great falsetto. It's really, really well done. But it's softer sounding, right? Anytime you go from, a heavier to both are hitting the note. Both are doing the thing that you're trying to do. One has more drive, more power, more energy behind it. That's also the same note doing the same thing at pretty much the same amplitude. One sounds softer based on where it's coming from, right? So what I would probably, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. What I would probably want out of this is to make sure that your low octave right here your high octave right here is maybe supported by a lower octave that is strong, that is a chest voice, and or as you figure some of the stuff out in your own vocal as well, maybe a little bit of fry, maybe a little texture. I'm not even talking necessarily about like a scream. That's not even the world that I'm living in necessarily. But you could have whisper tracks. You could have a low octave underneath it. It's intentionally feminine in that part due to storytelling aspect of lyric. Okay, 100%. So then this is what we talked about with a couple artists before as well, is how can we bridge the gap? This is honestly the story of all music. This is all productions, all lyrics, right? How do we bridge the gap between the creative intention and the fry is the feminine feeling? I love that. That's like I said, I love that fry at the end to me is such a great like energetic part of the song. I love it. How do we bridge the gap between the creative intention of the song and what is like sonically like palatable and people will want to listen to? This is the tough part about making music completely, because I've worked with so many artists, I've produced so many artists, and like just consulted with so many artists where they have this idea. I appreciate you so much. And I always, like I mentioned before too, I will always bias to the side of your authenticity and your creativity. Like I mentioned with like I'm not trying to change your song. I'm not trying to change how you represent yourself as an artist, right? And the way that you create. I will always bias that direction. I say this all the time, but like that, you being authentic as an artist and your creative expression is always at the forefront. Sometimes there's ways to take that creative expression and mold it into something that your message will actually come across more if you flip this little thing over here, if you switch this thing over here, if you move this chord to the end. Like there's ways that we can go about it to kind of bridge the gap between what you want to do creatively, honoring kind of like you said, like the feminine qualities of the vocal there to express what you're saying in the lyric, and making sure that people don't actually miss out on you doing that because of something that's missing. Right. And so that's kind of what I'm hearing. That's always the weird part of music. That's always the interesting part of storytelling. There's a lot of background that happens that allows that lead. Okay, well, we're here now. And again, I hope I'm not trying to harp too much on this song too and dig too much into it. What I want to do is hopefully just get your wheel spinning and get your creative juices flowing for your next record, right? Of like, how do I approach this, right? So that's the question that I always am kind of asking myself and asking the artists that I'm working with, whether I'm mixing or producing them or an executive on it or whatever it may be. And kind of the question of like, okay, here's your idea. Here's what's like typical, right? I love the crazy idea. How do we bridge the gap, right? And how do we say like, okay, I love and that's kind of what I'm talking about. I love the high falsetto. The falsetto, it's a good high falsetto. It's clean and it's clear. It's on pitch. Love the fry that introduces itself at the end. How do we make sure that doesn't feel disconnected from the production as we go through it, so that people still like listening to it when they're listening to it, and they don't miss the story and miss the message because something in the sonics feels disconnected?
That's the weird bridge of production and writing vocals and right. So it's like the story could you could be perfectly executing your story, but something about the production that feels disconnected, or about like the balance of it, the mix of it, even maybe the vocals too loud or whatever it may be, right? The mix of it, the production of it, the layering of it that disconnects you from the story a little bit, so then people don't actually hear the thing that you're talking about there. So these are the random details, and again, none of this is right or wrong. It's all creative, right? It can be very subjective in a lot of senses, but I want to bring it to your attention so that we can try to bridge that gap a little bit. So here, I think you can keep the lead vocal. You can keep, again, speaking to the song, but also speaking to a future record. You could keep a lead vocal like that, keep a falsetto, keep that energy right there, keep your lyric structure, and make sure that there's like an element that supports it. That could be a string that follows your vocal melody, gives it a little bit more punch and kind of connects it to the production. It could be a lower octave that's barely there. It could be a whisper track. So a whisper track, if you've never done a whisper track, is quite literally what it sounds like. And it's just saying the words that you're saying. You could just be saying, God, if it's on the outside, it's not a scream, it's not full voice. This happens all the time in rock, classic rock, metal, progressive metal, all the way across the board, where it's not, you don't want to scream. You're not trying to do like a guttural thing. You're not trying to switch your vocal into a fry scream, whether it's stylistically not you want, or just capacity-wise, it's not necessarily what you want, or have the capacity to do right now. It can be a way to like support the very vocal that you have with kind of like perceived energy. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you track one on the left, you track one on the right, and it gives your vocal this like little edge, this little rasp, this little like texture and crunch and character without you having to and moving straight into a full fry scream, right? So if even here, right?
Consequences.
We hear. So, so that's where you move. So if even just right there, you have layers to it. You have great doubles on there. Again, gives you a little bit of an edge. If you just... Mine's too loud. I would have it like, it's like barely there. I don't even know if it'll come through on TikTok. It's like barely there. It's, and it's right there. You just like compress it to all hell. You compress it a whole bunch. You put it on the outside of the vocal right there. And it gives you just like this crunch and this texture. Mine's not mixed. It's not your vocal, whatever. And it can just give like a clean vocal. I've done this with like metal vocalists where they have like, they're doing like especially like a modern progressive metal track where they have maybe screams on their verses. And then they have like a clean lead on their hook, and they don't want to scream in the background. They just whisper in the background. We took it way, way, way back, and it gives you a little bit of texture right there. My hubs kind of did that on a different track once, so I could, 100%, beautiful. Yeah. So again, that to me alone would connect the very like clean, bright, feminine vocal over the top, that high falsetto that you have, with some of like the tension of the rest of the record right there. So you still get that lead vocal, but it's like connected to some of the tension you have in the production. This is a tiny detail. I'm not saying it's like right for the track or wrong for the track, just to kind of get your wheels spinning here. Let me move forward. Let me get into this last little section here. But y'all are obviously both talented. There's some good writing in here. There's some great production structure. You obviously have a great vocal range. So there's a couple little things in here that I would love to kind of like, maybe there's some things I want to make more raw and more organic, and then other things that I want to be like a little bit more polished, if we can kind of bridge the gap a little bit. That's a great riff, by the way, too, on the bum 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 da 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 da. That's a really, really nice riff in the background. I'm going to hear this one part real quick. I mean, thank you for the follow.
Every single day, when corruption flows who's the consequence to the flood?
Yeah. Okay. Last thing I'll say. There's a part of me that wishes there was like a little bit more. And again, stylistically, this is different genre to genre. This is different in a different platform. So it's the last thing I'll say. I do wish there was like a little bit more of a hook right there. You do it really fast the first time. So what I would do, again, in retrospect or whatever, what I would do is you don't no consequence to the flood, and then you let it kind of resolve right there, and it goes to the verse. It's a very, very fast structure because your pre is the bum dunk dun da 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 da. That acts as, whether it is or not, it acts as your pre going into that next section right there, which you do twice as well. So that big portion right here, this kind of acts as your hook. Yeah. That little pocket right there, that kind of acts as your hook, and it only happens like once. You do it like one time through, and then it dies, and then you go into the next section, you do your build up, or you have your low section, your build up, you do your pre, you do that section, it only does it once. Since it only does it once, you don't really get too much repetition or too much like pattern recognition in there, because every section of the song kind of lives and dies within like 4 measures. And it's creative and it's interesting, kind of like we're talking about. It's the creative idea, it's interesting to listen to, and all of those things can be great and be true, but then it also leaves some to be desired as far as memorability, right? And it doesn't have anything to do with quality. It doesn't have anything to do with how cool it is to listen to when you're listening to it. It strictly has to do with pattern recognition and your ability to like have segments of the song that go on long enough that people can even remember them, right? So this little this little pocket right here. What I would probably do is if you only do it once here, again, speaking to the song, but to the future, if you do it once here, I would do it like twice the next time. So like when you do like your elastic, you would bum bunk bum da 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 bunk bum ba da dun dun bunk bum ba da dun dun dun. One more time, bunk bum ba da dun 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 bum ba da dun dun bun. You do it like one more time, and immediately, just because you have repeated that thing one more time in the song, it's that much more catchy. It becomes an earworm. It becomes something that kind of gets locked in. I think because each section only happens for like 4 measures at a time, a half measure at a time, a little segment here, here, and there, and then it moves on to the next thing. I never have that moment where I can just like settle into the song. Like I can never quite like just get into the hook and jam with y'all, because as soon as I'm bum, 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 we move straight into the next section, and it's cool and it sounds good, but I might not remember it. So those are those little moments where like, man, in my brain, I just I just want to get there, and it moves out of it so fast that I don't actually get to just kind of jam with y'all for a second. So little structural things like that to me would make a big difference. It's not even as an engineer and a producer or whatever, but as a consumer of the music, as a listener to the music. Selfishly, I want to be able to jam with y'all a little bit longer and just and the song's short. This is a 2-minute and 17-second song or something like that. Yeah. 2-minute, 20-second song, something like that. It's short. So you can give them that's a quick hook. You could do another 15 seconds and you'd be locked in. But the impact of that 15 seconds is like dramatic for replay value, for people really feeling the energy of the song. So something to keep in mind. I can't wait to hear more from y'all. Show some love to DBJT Music. Yeah, y'all are awesome. Really, really cool vibe, really, really cool feel, and some great quality things happening in the background too, like pretty clean mix on the vocals, pretty transparent across the board. Production structure feels really clean, great double tracking, great mix on like bass to percussion and stuff like that. All that sounds really, really nice. So great job, y'all. Really, really nicely done. That is going to close this up. Thank y'all so much to everybody that sent in today. I appreciate y'all so much. I really, really appreciate every single one that sent in music, gifts, likes, follows, all the way across the board. It means so much to me. I do not take it for granted. Really am just so grateful for everybody that sent in today. We are going to be live again. What do you mean, Hollywood? What do you mean you sent one in right now? Yeah, I do offline consultations all the time. So yeah, this is, this little 30-minute snippet we do here, offline all the time. What you sent in credit and everything. Yeah, we're closed. We've been closed for the last probably 45 minutes or so. What I can do, Hollywood, just because it's sent through the email, so it's not as easy for me to like just cash that back or whatever. I'll be live again tomorrow, Hollywood. So let me know if you're good. I can hang on to that for tomorrow's live stream. I'll be live streaming probably about 2 or 3 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to open up the line again. You already have your credit, so you'll be up as soon as you hop in. So as soon as you join the live stream, I can put your name straight up on the board. You'll be ready to go. Hopefully that skips you ahead of a couple other people. In fact, since you're coming in late, I can add an extra 5 to that as well. So let me put you on my list really quick. Thank you for the follow, DBJT. I appreciate it. Let me get you on my list here really quick. So I have you up there. And let's see, Hollywood. Got you. Let me get you on here. Hollywood. Okay, Hollywood. I'm going to add an extra 5 to yours as well. I'm going to add an extra 5. So you actually have 15 in credit waiting for you. So as soon as you hop in tomorrow, day after, whenever it may be, I'll be live. Most of the week, hopefully. After I finish up some of my projects, I usually finish up my projects, mixes, productions and stuff earlier. And then I try to get live or go live for a couple hours in the afternoon. So I got you, and I got an extra 5 added to yours as well, since you have to wait another night. I appreciate that. And then, yeah, DBJT. So I do offline consultations all the time. We can hop on like a Discord call or a Zoom or something like that. I have people that book, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to really just like dive into the full thing and coach through some elements, and you can talk back. It's a little bit easier that way, where you don't have to worry about like I'm waiting 7 seconds to like get your chat again, and we can actually just have a conversation. Like you can share your screen on your DAW. Like we can walk through stuff a little bit easier that way. So yeah, shoot me a message at any point on any this platform, any other platform, and I'll get back to y'all as soon as I can to walk through that as well. Quick spiel before we hop off. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I do work full-time as an audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the structure of what we do here is pointed in that direction, but it's also what I do for a living. So if you are ever interested in those services, feel free to hit me up on any platform. You can reach out through our website, theobsidiankey.com. You can reach out through TikTok, Instagram, wherever. I'll do my best to get back to you. I get a lot of like comments and messages and stuff. So sometimes people are like submitting through my DMs and stuff. So I gotta try to weed through that sometimes, but I'll do my best to get back fairly quickly. I really appreciate all of y'all that have come through today. But yeah, if you're ever interested in those services, whether you need session work as a musician, I have live drums, acoustic, electric, and bass guitars. I do a lot of synth work, keys work. So if you ever need like hardware, analog synths, or even VSTs, of course, vocals, whatever it may be, shoot me a message. If you need full scale production, you need a mixing, mastering engineer, shoot me a message. I appreciate it a lot. Dan the Band, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for tapping in. Anytime, I appreciate seeing that name in the chat. Thank you so much for hopping in. Retrack, you've been amazing as a mom, man. Let me get you saved as well. Retrack. I don't know if I already have something for you, but just in case, let me pull it up and then we'll get out of here. Let me drop you a 10, Retrack. I appreciate you, man. Got you. Boom. Retrack, you got a 10 waiting for you. I appreciate you, brother. You've been incredibly, I don't know what has been going on in the chat today, but it's been obnoxious. I appreciate your help so much. All right, y'all. That's going to be it. I love y'all. Hopefully we'll see some of y'all tomorrow. Peace.